Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hello. Nice to see you all. Hi, y'all. Hi. How's everyone doing? What's going on, everyone? What's going on? How's everyone doing? Hope you guys are well. It is the day before the patch. Day before the darkness. It's the day before patch. You know what that means? It is gaming. Also, I forgot to mention that. Hello, hope you guys are doing good. I'm doing well. Nice to see you all. Hello. You guys excited for tomorrow? We've got new theme packs tomorrow, guys. New hidden theme pack tomorrow. We got new adversities coming tomorrow. Oh my goodness. You know, yeah, we get new hidden bosses. Sorry, not theme packs. New hidden bosses. We get shardable ring if you want the shard the ring. We have new adversities. What do you think is going to happen with invading E.G.O gifts? Okay, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. So, the previous hidden bosses and their E.G.O gifts are going to be temporarily removed. Right? They're going to be temporarily removed and replaced with the new hidden bosses. Then, at a later date, which is like probably within a month, they're going to re-add the old bosses as theme packs and slightly rework the E.G.O gifts that they had. And then you can find them as extreme-only theme packs. So, that's what they're doing. Now, I think it probably won't be more than a month. I think it'll be less than a month. Maybe 2 weeks. Because I remember when they were talking about adding hidden bosses, they were like, oh, we're going to add hidden bosses. And then the next week they added hidden bosses. So I think it's no more than maybe a week or 2 weeks at max. But we also have Inavalo, right? So because Inavalo is coming, I think they're going to take priority on Inavalo. So yeah, they're going to cycle the hidden bosses and then add them to the extreme, which I think is a good idea. Pretty much the seasonal bosses are whatever the Kanto is, and then they get added as a extreme. So I think what's going to happen is this: the new hidden bosses are going to come out. They're going to remove the old gifts. I think, and then the week after we have Inavalo. So I think the week after Intervalo, right, we'll probably get the hidden bosses, which will be about 2 weeks. I think that makes the most sense. If not 2, then maybe 3, depending on what's next. Have or say for the duo. I still don't think Thumb Duo is next. I still think there's going to be a middle Otis banner. I think it makes sense for there to be a single banner, especially because we've had 2 double banners in a row now. So I definitely think we're going to get back to a single banner. So yeah, we're definitely going to get well, technically triple banners if you count E.G.Os. Hello. But I think we'll get single banner and then back to double after. I think that makes the most sense. Yeah, the old hidden boss is going to be gone. Have I seen the new ring? I have seen them. We'll be looking at them more once on Friday when the teaser comes out. So after teaser, comes out like the teaser, we're going to see it. I'll do it at the end. It's going to be before, they're going to be before Ryoshu, guys. So don't you worry. But guys, what are we doing today? Well, actually, I can tell you quite easily what we're doing today. We're going to be doing something a little different. We're not actually going to be playing Limbus today. Oop, excuse me. The traditional sense. We're going to be doing... we're going to be going for... Specifically... Where is it? The Compendium. And we're gonna try and pretend to be the Kim Ji-hoon Project Moon team, and we're gonna see if we can do a little bit of reworking, do a little bit of creating, and have a little bit of creatism today. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go through. We're going to nerf and buff E.G.O gifts that I think we're gonna make a set of rules first. I should say this. We're gonna make a set of rules, and then we're going to follow the rules, and then we're going to go through all 400 gifts, and I'm going to pick out which ones I think are either undertuned or overtuned, and then we're going to see if we can give them a little bit of love, you know what I'm saying? Or we create something. So I am going to limit myself to a few rules. Okay? Now, what those rules are, I'll have to open the editing software chat first. So let me do that for you. Let me just make sure it's...
Yo, Lunashi.
Buff Bone Steak top 1 gift right now.
Yeah, excuse me. Buff Bone Steak top 1 gift right now. Hey, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Buff the Bone Steak. Okay. You know what? I don't think it needs it. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I think it's quite strong. TBH. So I don't think it needs it per se. You know. But maybe. There it is. So I'm gonna be swapping back and forth between this and this. So maybe I should. They don't get flashbanged or something. Darken this a little bit. I'm gonna get like a softer gray or something. Maybe a little bit darker. There you go. That looks better. I think that'll help people not get flashbanged. Yes, I think so. How does that look? I mean, I could make a should I make it black? Maybe I should make it black. Okay, well there we go. Does that look better? What do you guys think? Hold on. I also have my my drawing tablets. We're actually gonna be drawing today. And we're going to use the Kim Ji-hoon marker. There we go. So we have the black and green. So I can go like, hi chat. I'm actually typing this on, yeah, I can technically go off screen, but you can't see that. We have green marker. So this time, you guys can't flame my handwriting because I actually am using my writing now. So I can be like, hello. See, look how nice that handwriting is. Oh my goodness. Or I can be like, goodbye. See, I have good handwriting. You guys flame me because I use a fucking mouse to write. Of course it's fucking hard. I have a tablet. It's just it's a Wacom drawing tablet. Where's the VTuber model? Hello, goodbye. I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm going to add a few layers so I don't fuck up anything. Anyway, I'm going to be swapping back and forth between this and Limbus. So that should help with the hello. Help! I love you. But yeah, like honestly, getting straight into it. Bring out Menhera. There will be no Menhera. Okay. We need a budget of the 3D model. There will not be a 3D model. Maybe one day in 10 years we transition into a VTuber like Kim Ji-hoon, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. Anyway, first things first. I think I gotta start off with a banger. Bone steak. Okay, you want to know my opinion on bone steak? Let me tell you my opinion on bone steak. Bone steak doesn't need to be doesn't need to be buffed. This is fine. This is perfectly fine. This it does what it says on the tin. 100% damage against shields. It also goes into a tier 4, which I believe is this one, right? No, it's the other one. Yeah, it's this one, which goes into a tier 4. So it's already good, especially because the intent is like, you know, you have to be very careful. Only 2 bosses have shields. Yeah, but it turns into a tier 4. It's very, oh, right. I have to make the rules, chat. Hold on. Okay, chat, we have to make rules. And because they're going to be rules, I think what I might do is anything that is like official will do green, and then anything that is what we do will do white. Right? So I think this is going to be, hold on, let me make a layer. I'm I'm going to call this the Kim Ji-hoon rules. Right, so because this is Kim Ji-hoon writing this, right, we're going to use the green marker. And then when we are going to be doing stuff, we're going to be... Oops, shit. We're going to be doing white markers. So, first things first. Here we go. I think right... Oh, what are... Oh, hold on. Ahem. We have... Shit, I keep pressing the wrong button. We have the rules. And then we're going to draw... Kim Ji-hoon's little... Oh, is that too close to the corner? Here we have the rules, and they're at an angle. I don't know why it's at an angle. I thought it would be cute. I'll just straighten it up. Here you have the rules. We have da rules? Okay, we'll do da rules. The rules, and then we'll give Kim Ji-hoon's little love heart, so you know it's Kim Ji-hoon. Number 1. Okay? So the number 1 rule, okay, is variety over balance. Well, I should say over meta. That's the first rule. I should probably put this as like number 1. Variety over meta. Actually, I'll just do this. So, Kim Ji-hoon has specifically stated they care more about variety than they care about the optimal. Or should I say being optimal? I'm not really sure if... I don't remember specifically. I guess we'll say meta. I'll say meta. Right? Variety over meta. Second thing. Okay? We cannot create from nothing. Okay? We cannot create from nothing. Right? I say meta. This is like meta, open bracket, optimal. Right? So, yeah, fun is... well, balance... No. Balance is more important than being optimal, right? The 1 PM dev lurking in the stream. So, variety... So, for example, why did Kim Ji-hoon nerf the drumstick? Which I'll just draw a quick... I am not going to finish that. Why did he nerf drumstick? I'm just going to draw Bongi. Why did he nerf Bongi? Okay? Because burn count was too easy. Same with rupture. Right? And what happened is that all the other E.G.O gifts that existed did not matter because this existed. Okay? That's why. So that is variety, which is this, over optimal, which is this, / meta. So that's the idea we're going to use. It looks like a little happy thing. I mean, I need a reference for Bongi to be really good. I also should probably use just an eraser or something. Now, another thing. We cannot create from nothing. We can't just go, I'm going to make the one true book. I can't do that. Okay? I can't just create a new tier 4 called the one true book and it, you know, makes you bold. I can't do that, right? That's not... Because Kim Ji-hoon has a very specific set in mind for creating new things. Now, just like atoms in real life and you know, matter in real life, you cannot create something from nothing. But we are allowed, this is allowed, to create something from something. Okay? For example, if we have, let's just say, the rupture steak, and we fuse it with the rusty coin, we can create a tier 3 gift from this. This is allowed because there are fusions, right? We are allowed to, because it is a combination of two things, and we can create new effects from this gift, for instance, right? That's allowed, right? What is an example of this? An example of this would be the Liu outfit, which I don't really know how to draw the Liu outfit, so I'm just gonna... There. There. The Liu tier 4 is a good example of this. Now, the Liu tier 4 does have the tie, which technically would disallow the rules, but assume the tie already exists in the game. We can create something like this, for instance, right? Oh, what did I do? I don't know what I did. The third rule. Okay? Okay, we have variety over meta. We have cannot create from nothing. And then the third rule, what's the third rule? Oh. It has to be... Are other ones derived? Kind of. We can kind of skirt the line, but we're not going to be creating something out of nothing. We'll work around it. Original intent. Yes, good thing. Original intent. Right? We cannot change something for the better. We cannot change something and its gimmick. It must stay its original intent. We also can't add so for example, we can't add statuses to, let's say, the gun, equalizer. I don't know how I draw a gun. Let's just say equalizer. We can't add poise to it, which I think is just, looks like this, to be honest with you. We can't add poise to the equalizer because the original intent is that this is a Pierce gift, right? This is not allowed. We cannot do that. So original intent of things that we are creating or changing have to remain. And I think with that, that's like all the rules we need. We don't need any more rules than this. So I'll mark this off. Can I change the gift ratings? If we really think we need to, but only if it really deems it. I'm not going to, because I don't think they've ever changed gift rarities. I'm trying to think if they've ever changed gift rarities. They might have changed gift rarities from like old MD1, like MD1 to 2. But from as far as I'm aware, MD3 to now, which is 7, they have never done that with rarities. I don't believe they've ever changed rarities. So we're gonna say no. Original intent means they have to keep the thingy. Jesus, that took up the whole fucking board. Okay, we're gonna have to shrink this down a little bit. Luckily, I made this its own. Rules will go up here. Okay, there we go. So the rules are up here. So if someone asks for the rules, they're up here. We'll keep it at this level. Okay, now I'm going to go to make this layer, and I'm going to call this me, which is white, right? Because whenever we are involved in something, it's going to be white. Oh god. Oh god, what did I do? Ah, you should. I'm sorry. Oh, I have to use the grab feature. I'm stupid. Okay. Rules of that. Can I? Oh, hold on. I think I can pin this so it doesn't move. Okay, I can pin both of these so they can't move now, which is really good. Now I'm going to make a me layer, which is me. Now I have a me layer that I can edit freely and do this. Now, first things first. Okay, we have the rule. I'll leave the rules up here for now. I have a certain target in mind for my first E.G.O gift. that I want to nerf. It shows his that gives you his expressive things. Yes. I have a certain ego gift in mind that I've been gunning my eye on. Also, you're going to hear window sounds. That's because I am going to take a screenshot. So, I am taking screenshots of this. And then putting them in-game. No, no, no! No, no, no! Thread and needle. This, and I'm going to be 100% flat with you, is getting a nerf. I'm nerfing it. Ah! What the fuck? Hey, hold on. This is too, I think that's too thick of a pen. There we go. How will we clear flow out of it? Now, hold on. Hold on, let me explain. Sharp needle and thread has a small problem. The small problem is that it is too good at its job. Okay? This is too good at its job. All right? This is exactly the same thing. Okay? I guess I should do this. It is exact same problem, chat, that the chicken and the drumstick have. It is too good at its job. What is its job? Well, first of all, deals damage to enemies with fixed bonus damage. Half by damage dealt. Now, first of all, it's a tier 3. That's really good for a tier 3. Okay? There is another ego gift that is extremely similar to this, which I'll show you, which does its job, but pretty much more balanced, which is Eclipse of the Scarlet Moth. As you can see here, turn start. When dealing damage with an attack skill for the first time, half its damage as fixed damage to a random enemy. A random enemy. If the attack skill is lost, you deal it to 2 enemies. Eclipse of Scarlet Moth is a worse version of Thread and Needle. Now, this is balanced. Why? First of all, it's a 2-star. Second, it's only 1 enemy. Now, I'm not going to ruin the ego gift, but I am going to adjust it. And I think it's fair to say this. What would my adjustment be? I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I'm getting rid of the half damage. Did I spell quarter? I think it's so. And I'm making it quarter. Or, instead, I'll just do 1/4. I am keeping the original intent in mind. However, it is now, I guess I'll say 25%. That's probably written out better. Right? Instead of half, it will now be, or 1/4, as they say. It'll be 1/4 of the damage dealt. Now, this still makes it incredibly good. Because if you deal over here. If you do 10,000 damage, you are now dealing, instead of 5,000, a bonus of 2,500. Right? F tier. Make it 33%? No. 33 is more balanced. 33 is still strong. Right? Now it's a lot more reasonable. I'm not going to give it a 1 turn limit. I don't think it needs that. Right? Because, again, it's always the first skill. There's only 1 skill that gets it, right? And I'm not going to add an upgrade to it. I don't think it needs an upgrade. Because it has a job and it does it. Right? The intended use of this is that when you hit large amounts of enemies, because you got to remember, the bonus damage, right, is not spread. Damage is not spread. It is not spread amongst allies. right? If there are 4 allies or 4 enemies, it doesn't split equally. It is exactly the same damage. So it is 25% across the board. You're not really going to be stressing about this on single targets. On single enemies, like, it's the same as it always is. So I think, for now, we're going to leave it at 25%, and that's all I'm going to do to it. I am not going to touch anything else to do with it. Let me get let me do this real quick. I gotta make this a bit bigger. There we go. Okay. And that's it. That is it. We're only going to do that for this. Now, that's our first item. I'm going to take this and merge it with this. And then we're going to move this over here. Okay, I don't know why that still has stuff there. It's just... There we go. We're going to move that nice here. Why then must nerf Downpour? Downpour is a tier 4. You have to respect the rank. Alright? It is still S tier. Like, you would still get this on every run. Why is there a pen? Where's the green? The green is for official notes. Kim Ji-hoon is green. I am white. Because I have to differentiate. Now, that's the first thing. Okay? Let's follow up a nerf with a buff. Okay? And I'm gonna buff something in a very interesting way. I just nerfed the AoE part. Pretty much. Now, what here do I think could use a buff? There are a few things in here, like Ancient Effigy. But I have something special in mind for Ancient Effigy. Twinkling Scrap. So, I do think Twinkling Scrap could use a buff. And let me explain why we can edit. Remember how I just said, chat? Oh, I don't want to touch things that have a crafting recipe attached to it. Well, there's an exception to the rule. The Twinkling Scrap is a required fusion for the violin. But guess what? It doesn't do anything to the violin. The Twinkling Scrap effect, which let me read to you. Which is when an ally with a shield is hit by an enemy, reflect damage, is not in the violin. There's nothing in here that does reflect damage. All of this, there's a heal thing, but that comes from the violin. This comes from the violin. This comes from the violin. This comes from the tier 1. This comes from the violin. The Twinkling Scrap doesn't actually do anything in the violin. So I think we can buff the Twinkling Scrap, and it won't actually affect the tier 4, because it's not even used in the tier 4. It's so bad, they forgore. So we're gonna take a screenshot. Move this over. You don't have to worry about that. I will worry about this. And we're gonna give this one a buff. It's harder to shard the ring. Yep. What is this? Oh, what the fuck did I go? Ah! Sorry, hold on. I'm getting it ready. You can't see anything right now because I'm setting it up. Me. Okay. So, Twinkling Scrap. We're not gonna, by the way, we are not going to change the violin. I actually think the violin is fine. The violin is fine. Or however you spell violin. The tier 4 is actually fine. We're not gonna touch that. It's actually great, I would even argue. This, however, we are gonna change. What this is gonna do now is it's now going to give us an opportunity to use it. we could also theoretically add it to the tier 4, but for the sake of the argument, we're going to say that there are going to be 2 versions of Twinkling Scrap. We could give it an extra effect, and I think the biggest thing is we have to change the value. 3 fixed damage does not do anything, right? So maybe we should take inspiration from Faust, right? From what do you call it? Albina Faust. If we come over here to Albina Faust and we look at her block, or even her Iron Maiden skill. Actually, we'll look at her Iron Maiden skill. She has, when hit by the last coin of an attacker, deal pierce damage equal to 20% of the coin's final damage, and inflict bleed count. Max 60 per turn. I think we can kind of rip this wording and add it to the gift. And then fix it up a little bit. But we're going to be giving it this percentage damage equal to coin damage. And I think we'll give it a cap of X per skill per chance. So maybe it's only 50 damage a skill. 50 damage a skill is still going to be better than nothing, but we will see. Because it is only a tier 2. Let me get it back open. It's only a tier 2. It's not supposed to be the strongest. And it does go into a fusion. So, we're going to do this. When ally is with shield, it's still going to be shield, is hit by an enemy, we are now going to say, instead of saying reflect 3 damage, it's now going to be reflect 20%, right, of the final coin of the attack. So reflect 50% of the final, reflect 20% of the final coin's damage. And we are going to be giving it a max of 50 per skill. So, if 7 users are being hit, that is simply 7 multiplied by 50. Do the math. I'm not doing the math. Never mind, it's 320. Now, you still might be thinking, this is nothing. 320 in the long run is nothing. Well, you're kind of right. It's only a tier 2. Right? But, at least, it's better than nothing. Considering what it has already. And 20% final coin damage is going to be our optimal here because the last coin is always the strongest coin. Right? It's pretty much better than this. 320, 350. Sorry, 350. I was thinking 6s. Even though 6s is also wrong. Anyway, listen. I'm doing it quick on the spot. It's too strong for a tier 2? No way. Its max damage. Oh, I should say its total. I'll put that on the side here. Its total is 350 damage a turn. But remember, you have to be shield. Now, you could argue, oh, there's a tier 3. You can get the charge gift. Okay. You still have to be hit. And it's capped. So it's not like it's infinite. If it didn't have a cap, I would say it's broken for a tier 2. Eclipse Moth does more damage for less of a downscale. Correct. But not all tiers are made equally. Right? Tier, that does its own. That's like saying every tier 1 is of the same value. The tiers might be on the tier, but they're not all the same value. Right? This is strictly for shield. 2%? No, this is 20. This is not 2. This is 20. An uncapped version could be a blessed gift. That's a thing. That could be good. That's a high potential. Yeah, this is 20% max at 50 per skill. Per ally skill, I should say. Or... hold on. All right, chat. You guys get to decide. Hold on. Here's what we... okay. Pause. When we talk about skill, right? When I'm talking about skill, this skill, should this be referring to ally or enemy? Because if it's an enemy could have 10 slots, which means that they would hit 50 times 10. If it's a sinner, it would be 7 because it's a 7 slot. Enemy, does it make a difference? Yes, it does make a difference. I think enemy is better. And I think if you count enemy, it's even better than how we wrote it, by the way. If you think about enemy. Because all this means is that the enemy will take a maximum of 50 damage every time they hit you. Right? So if an enemy has 10 skill slots, they will hit you for 10 multiplied by 50 times. They will take 10 multiplied by 50 damage. If an enemy only has 1 skill slot, which is impossible, unless you're fighting Ebony Queen and you stagger all her parts, she's only going to take 1 skill. Carmilla would be insane. You could do Carmilla plus this and stagger your enemy. But then remember, then if they're staggered, they can't hit you, right? So I think we definitely have this be enemy, and we're going to specify... we're actually going to specify enemy skill. There we go. So there you go. Now, I also should make this a buff because I forgot to make this as a buff. This is a buff. So, Twinkling Scrap's new effect is now when an ally with shield is hit by an enemy, reflect 20% of the final coin's damage, max 50 per enemy skill. We also have our previous one. If you were not here for this, here is our nerf for Sharp Needle and Thread. If you were not here for this, we have Sharp Needle and Thread. Each turn, the first skill to deal damage to an enemy deals bonus fixed damage by 25% of the damage dealt, not half. Why is my marker white, not green? Because green is saved for Kim Ji-hoon. If Kim Ji-hoon has to come in and make an executive decision, because you got to remember, Kim Ji-hoon can come in here and make it an executive decision at any point. Right? This also counts on breakables. Yes. If Kim Ji-hoon decides to come in here and make an executive rule, it's a green marker. It's kind of like, you know, when your teacher takes your homework and they do the red marker, like, you know, they come over here and be like, you spelt fucking scrap wrong. It's actually squap. Right? Like, that's kind of how the green marker is. The green marker is the equivalent of Kim Ji-hoon coming in and exerting his will over the changes. So that's our 2 gifts so far. Pretty good. We have a lot of space, so we might make these a bit smaller real quick. To out for some space. We'll always change that. Squap. Squapu. He's like the he's like the maestro. Twinkling Squap, the Sinnerling. So that's so far I'd say we're doing pretty good. So far I'm pretty happy. And you might have noticed so far we're focusing on keywordless stuff. That's not really intentional. But I guess if we're gonna do one buff, one nerf, let's do one whole new addition. Okay? I am going to propose a new tier 4. And if you heard me talk about this a few days ago, you know what I'm going to say. I am going to take Ancient Effigy And I am going to take... down here somewhere. Tango marinade. And I am going to fuse these two together to create a new unique tier 4. So let me get the screenshots for these. Because I feel like this is going to be a very funny one. Now, should there be a third thing added to this? Maybe if I see it. But for now, I'm going to just take these two and roll with it. This tier is over 9,000. All right, let me take a screenshot of this. Again, I wish I could hide the screenshot noises of this program. I mean, maybe there's a way to actually hide the screenshot noises of this program. Chat, if anyone uses Share X, do you know if you can turn off the noises that are made with like taking screenshots? Because I would personally love if they would shut the fuck up instead of continuously making noises. The Bongi statue. But we will, guys, we will be creating the GIF together in terms of design and stuff. That's why I brought the drawing tablet out, by the way, chat, so we can draw together. Yes, in system sounds. Can you just screenshot it on Steam? Well, not really, because I'm using a program. It's in system sounds. I might do that shit right now. Hold on. This out. I wish it was fucking really easy to... This thing is like task setting. Application setting? Settings. I nerf entangled fate. I don't think I will. Pretty decent. General? No. Settings. Main window. Advanced? No way. Why would it be in advanced? Or maybe it is in advanced. To turn off the screenshot noise in ShareX, right-click the icon, select Task Settings. Click this. Click Task Settings. Navigate to the General tab. Notifications. After captures made, disassemble the camera shutter. Okay, so now if I take a screenshot, I'm just going to do a test if I do this. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, cool. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. This is why you guys are so awesome. Anyway, here we are. Ancient Effigy and Tango Marinade. This is going to be referred to. Oh, hold on. Let me add this to the fusion list real quick. Use fuse. This is going to be called a fusion. Oh, you guys can't see it. This will be a fusion. So, first of all, we have to talk about what the fuck does Ancient Effigy do and what does Tango Marinade do. Okay? Ancient Effigy, select one of the fastest allies and apply 5 haste to them next turn. Next turn starts, select one of the other allies without Ancient Effigy and reapply the GIF to them. The effect expires if no other allies can be selected. So, what does this mean, chat? If Don Quixote, which actually, you know what? I might as well do visuals. If Don Quixote, this is Don Quixote, by the way. How could you tell this is Don Quixote? Because she has star eyes. If Don Quixote and I don't know, Gregor. Sure, this is Gregor. How can you tell it's Gregor? If Dawn gets the buff. Ooh. Okay, my PC is lagging a little bit. Sorry about that. If... Oh, what the fuck? Oh, my PC's lagging. She's bold. Okay, reiterate this. My PC was lagging for a second there. I hope it's all good. I think it's all fine. Draw a bug on Gregor. Okay, let me draw Pablo. Okay, this is Pablo. So, if she has 5 haste from the gift, turn 1. Turn 2 starts, and you might think, oh, the gift is now going to apply onto Gregor as well. Wrong. Don Quixote loses the gift and it reapplies onto Gregor. It doesn't stack infinitely. It loses it. As the words written here, select one of the other sinners and reapply it to them. Expires if no other ally can be selected. It doesn't both stack. At least I'm pretty sure this is correct, by the way. I'm pretty sure Ancient Effigy does not... It works like NDA. I'm pretty sure that you lose the effect and then it goes on to someone else. So it's never on both targets at once. Which makes it suck. Now, don't confirm me on that because I actually don't know if it works like that or not. But for the sake of my argument, I am going to say it works like that. Then we have Anger Marinade. Add NDA. Should we add NDA to this? We could add... I'm not even gonna lie to you. I actually think we could add NDA to this. It says select one other ally. Yeah. But see how it says select one of the allies? I actually have to test it. I'm pretty sure it doesn't do that. You know what? I think I will add NDA to this chat. I actually think I will. And then this will actually make it better for me to write this out. Okay, let's add NDA to this. I wish I could make the gift thing a little bit better, but we'll just have to go with this. Oh, dude, not hearing the screenshot is so nice. So you know what? This will actually help my my thing out anyway. So this is actually I'm perfectly fine with doing this. So first things first, I have to like this out. Then there. So this is going to be a triple fusion. Now, I didn't expect this to be a triple fusion. That does complicate things a little bit more. But let's just roll with it for now. If I feel like it's too much, I'll take away the NDA. Right? Originally, I was not going to have NDA in this. So this is new. Okay? So let's do this. Move this over here. Actually, no, we'll move it down here. Because it needs its own space. So, what the fuck are we gonna get from this? Now, let me tell you what I originally was thinking. Originally, I was thinking something like this. We're gonna be doing some theories. Some like theory, right? I'll keep it like this so you can see everything. So, I was thinking of something like a... Is it 224's too much? It can be too much. I think this might be too much, personally. But let's just go with this first. It is extremely expensive. This is... I'm actually kind of starting to not add to this. You know what? I think I'm going to go with my original thing, chat. I'm actually not going to include NDA. I'm going to actually not include NDA because I want to go with my original because I think that might be too much. So we're not going to include NDA, but I will buff NDA. So NDA will also be getting a buff, but we're going to keep it separate for the sake of simplicity. Because you've got to remember, according to the rules, we have to keep the original intent. And it's variety over meta. Okay, remember, this is the thing here. It's variety over meta. So, what the fuck could this create? Let's grab the pencil out. Go down here. I am thinking of something called this. I think it's going to be called... Also, is this too thick? This might be a bit too thick. I think it's fine. I'm going to call it... fast food. I was going to call it a marinade offering. The Tango Marinade and the Effigy will now be called, will fuse into a tier 4 called the Marinade Offering. And I guess we'll do a little drawing. So we are going to do a little drawing to see how it looks like. So I'm just going to draw it up here. So I have like a visual of these two. How nice of you. So I'm going to draw it up here. Just so I have like the reference here. So let's draw this. I'll draw it here. So I'm going to use the Tango Marinade as a reference. The statue is covered in marinade. Yes, that was going to be generally what the idea was. It was actually going to be, chat, a little offering table with a little marinade. Here, let me do my original idea, right? So the idea was, I'm going to make the statue. Now, I am not an artist. I am pretty much copying the ancient effigy statue. Word for word right now. So there's the statue. But it was going to have a little marinade, which I'll do as like a circular thing. So I'll do like this with marinade dripping out of it. It was going to have a little twig, like a little star, like a little offering coming from it. Maybe this could have a little bit of a juice dripping off it. You know, like it's been soaked in marinade. And then we're going to add a little bongi. I'm not good at drawing bongies. There you go. Could do something like a marinade fountain. Dummy you bongi. Here's my little bongi. Bongi worshipping. And this is all dripping marinade. It's like soaked in marinade. It's like, yeah. Because they've covered it in marinade. Put it on the head. Put it on its head. Wait, hold on. I feel like I feel like I can do this way better. Hold on. Let me actually look at a reference for a bongi real quick. Hold on. Let me open up another tab. Let me open up the bongi enemy and actually get like a reference for bongi. I should copy the bongi securities and stuff. There we go. So we're just going to turn this into a bongi shrine. You know, like the K-Corp security guys who have the bongis on their head? We're just going to do that here. So it's going to be... How do you draw a bongi? You know what? Should I draw them on the side and then add them on top? I think that'd probably be better, right? The statue becomes a bongi? Yes, that's what we're gonna do. Okay. So it's a giant... He's kind of like a giant circle. Like this. And he has... kind of like this. There we go. And then this becomes the back leg, which is the knee. And then we're going to erase a bit of this part here. Okay, hold on. I also can't see chat right now because I'm using the bongi as a reference. And then we're going to add... There we go. Yo! This is not a bad bongi. Hold on. Then we got to add his goofy little eyes. There's like one right here. It's a bit further. It's like one right here. Hold up. This might be fire. I will be passing the ring exam. And then they kind of have like an open mouth. How do they do this side? They do like this. There we go. I don't think we do any more complicated than that. I told you in the drawing stream. Then we take this. But now we have to kind of like fuse it with the bongi statue. So what I should do is this, chat. I should make this on a different layer. So let me copy it. Delete this layer. And then what I'll do is move this onto here. And then start removing stuff underneath it. Gotta have him be sitting like right here. He cooked a bongi so good. The ringmaster praised him. New Falvist E.G.O dropped. Oh, my pen's the wrong way. So I gotta do like... I gotta start like erasing parts that the bongi actually covers. There we go. Here we go. All right. We got a little bongi. And then we're going to add a giant tango marinade on top. So now we're going to add a tango marinade over it. Do they eye show? Yeah, they're eye show. In fact, I should probably add the eyelashes. Remind me I have to add the eyelashes. There we go. Add a marinade on the bongi. We can just do like drip like this. I think we keep the drip effect. Well, like it's covered in like marinade and stuff, so it's like dripping ooze. Give him a chef's hat. I can give him a chef's hat. Nah, I don't like the hat. Ah. There we go. I think that's what we're going to do. I think we keep it like this. I think this is perfect, chat. This is the final boss of Limbus. And then what I'll do is I'll add the little tango marinade on the side so that you know What I'll do is I'll add the Tango Marinade on the front, kind of covering it. So you know that the offering is like standing in front of it. And then I can delete this in the back. There we go. And then you know this is like marinade. There we go. There we go. All right. Yet this is in fact cooking. We're going to fuse this. Here we have our tier 4. Let's move this down over here. This is the marinade offering. We'll move it right here. Kim Jun, please see this. So now we have the marinade offering. What the fuck are we actually going to do about it? What we should have done is we should have actually created the skill first. That's the Hung One, bud. I'm back in the fucking Hung One again! So what I should have done first was we should have actually created the effect of the offering gift. But anyway, we all know what Tango Marinade does, okay? Tango Marinade, if its unit speed is faster than the target, gain clash power. Then we have Ancient Effigy, if select an ally and apply haste to them. So, here's what we're going to do. Let us try and, first of all, just flat combine them. I'm going to do text, I think, for this one. Blah, 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 blah. Should we do text? No, I'll just write it out. I'm epic like that. Actually, should I do text? No, I don't think I should. Also, I gotta put my tablet on charge real quick. Go. Let me get the text out. Perfect. All right, here we go. So, Tango Marinade buff from the April Fools. I don't know what the April Fools... Oh, wait, what does the... Hold on, what does the April Fools fight do, actually? Let me have a look at the mid Summer Spring. Let me remind myself what the enemies do. So, the Bongi Security... They have the Leaking Marinade, which is gain haste next turn for every stack. That's what they do. So we could have something to do with that. If Bongis get hit, they gain Tango stacks. So what about instead of when we get hit? How about it's when we hit? So what if it's something like on hit? Gain 1 leaking marinade. And then we'll say this, just, you know what? We're going to leave it at that. Just gain leaking marinade. Probably 2 leaking marinade, because 2 gives you haste. Because it already has a max of 10. Right? There's already a max of 10 haste. Or is that a max of... In 1 haste for every 2 stacks, max 10. Is that saying max 10 stacks? I would prefer it's faster. When the faster unit hits an enemy with 3 speed difference. Ooh. Okay, I do like that. No max of the big 2026? Okay. Let's have a read of this. Because we want to keep this thing. If unit speed is faster than the targets, because we're going to keep the main effect of the Tango Marinade, right? Gain of the targets. So we already have that conditional. If this unit speed is faster than the targets, which we're going to have, we are going to do gain... What was that? Marinade? Gold marinade. Is that what it's called? Gold marinade? Or is it just leaking marinade? I kind of forgot we have something from the event, actually, which is kind of crazy. So we'll call it, if unit speed is faster, gain leaking marinade. I'll say 2 leaking marinade. Okay, here's what we're going to do. If unit speed is faster than the targets, on hit, gain 2 leaking marinade. Okay. Then we're going to say this. Not only does leaking marinade. Oh, you get gold during the boss? Hold on, let me look at the boss. Ah, gold recipe source, Clash Power 2. Oh, dude, this is literally perfect. We're just going to rip off the boss chat. This is good. It's the golden recipe sauce. Okay, this is literally perfect. Unironically, we're just going to use the buffs from this. This actually makes my job so much easier. So, if unit speed is faster than the targets, on hit, you're going to gain 2 leaking marinade. Okay? And I'll explain why. So you gain 2 leaking marinade, which gives you haste. But we're going to change the max cap to 10. We're cooking. On kill, gain the golden sauce. Then we're going to say this. Right? Because it's like, oh, you gain the leaking marinade. Then we're going to say, or should we probably do that? Select the units faster. You know what? Oh, maybe we should do it like this. Turn start. Select one of the fastest allies and apply. Oh. Hold up. Hold up. Now this is fire. And apply 5 leaking marinade to them next turn. Then we're going to say if unit speed is faster than the targets, gain, hold on, hear me out, leaking marinade divided by 2, or we'll say divided by 3, golden recipe sauce. Why are we leaking? It is a dripping statue. Now, how much does this give, chat? If there is 10 leaking marinade stacks, and you gain, so this gives you 3 recipe, which gives you 6 clash power up. How much does this give you? This gives you 3 clash power up. So this gives you double. We can't see. Wait, what do you mean you can't see? Oh, sorry, you mean this? Let's do this. Okay. I'm gonna call it Heavenly Marinade. Well, because it's supposed to be a combination of the Ancient Effigy and Tango Marinade. Oh, it was off screen? Oh, okay, sorry. So turns out select one of the fastest allies and apply 5 leaking marinade to them next turn. I could say 4. Because how much leaking marinade is haste? 2 haste for every 2 stacks. So this gives you 2 haste. So you lose the haste. You lose a lot of haste, but you gain clash power instead. But you still keep the haste. This remains on the... Hold on. And then here's what we're going to say. Then there's a lost in the source. I'm also going to say this, right? Because according to this, it says... Then I'll say next turn start. Because we can always change values later. But we want to keep the most important thing. Next turn start. Select one of the other fastest allies. Without the marinade offering. Oh, without Ooh, you know what? No. I know what to do, chat. I know what to do. Turn start. All allies gain 4 leaking marinade to them next turn. That's what we're gonna do. We can even make it 3 if you want. Now it's gonna say it's a tier 4. If the unit speed is greater than the enemy's targets, gain the marinade as a golden recipe. So this technically means you get lower haste than the tier 5. This is 5 haste, but at max value, this is what? 2, 4, 6, 8. No. Oh no, so this is 5 haste, chat. So instead of giving you 5 haste turn 1, it ramps up over the course of 3 turns. Okay? So this is max 5 haste after. So I'm just gonna leave that there just for clarity, right? So this gives you 5 haste, but it takes 3, 6, 9, 4 turns, right? Then, if this unit speed is faster than targets, you gain marinade divided by 3 golden recipe. Now, every turn you gain 3 marinade. So turn 2, you gain 2 clash power up, and will continue to gain 2 clash power up until you reach the max, which is 3 recipe out of 3. Which means this gives you max 6 clash power up over the course after 3 turns. Sorry, to them as a thing. All allies gain leaking marinade next turn. Turn start. All allies gain 3 leaking marinade next turn. Max 5 haste after 4 turns. If this unit's speed is faster than the target's. It's less, okay, let me read it out. If this unit's, first thing, turn start. All allies gain 3 leaking marinade next turn. Max 5 haste after 4 turns. Or, you know what? Okay, I'll say combat start, bro. This is a tier 4, bro. We're allowed to make this strong. Combat start. All allies gain 3 leaking marinade. If this unit's speed is faster than the target's, you gain leaking marinade divided by 3 golden recipe source. So, let me explain the differences. This is 5 haste after 4 turns, and 6 clash power after 3 turns. What have you stated? We don't need to state it because in the buff, it states it. So, in fact, actually, you know what I should do, chat? Let me screenshot the buff and put it in here. Hold on. That's actually a smart thing to do, chat. You can't see anything right now, so I'm just doing this. Let me actually put the buffs in here so you can actually read what they do, and that helps a lot. Okay, there we go. Let me remove this up. Boom. Let me just fix up these borders a little bit, make them a little bit prettier. There we go. So now we have both of these, which I'll fuse together. Here we go. So as you can see, in the leaking marinade effect, it actually has a max of 10. Ignore the... I screenshotted everything from the fucking wiki, so... You might see a little bit of text overlap, but just ignore that. Now, this does say expire at turn end, which I just noticed might be a small issue. Which we actually don't want it to expire. The whole point is we want this to stack infinitely. Right? So let's add a thing in here that says leaking marinade effect loses its expires at turn end effect. I'll just say leaking marinade loses its expires at turn end effect. So as you can see, leaking marinade here. Gain 1 haste next turn for 2 stacks, max 10. Expires at turn end. Golden recipe, plus 2 clash power. Yeah, you know what? Leaking marinade no longer expires at turn end. Yeah. That is written a lot better. There we go. Leaking marinade no longer loses its expires at turn end. So, we have combat start. So let me explain to you what the difference is. So, the difference is turn 1, you have both of these effects. So turn 1, one ally will have 5 haste, and turn 1, you theoretically have 3 clash power. Right? However, and this affects all allies, with the tier 4, all allies gain the haste. And all allies still gain the clash power. However, the haste and the clash power are less at the beginning of the turn. However, after the second turn, you will have more power than the Tango Marinade. Because 2 turns is 6 divided by 3, which will be 2 golden source recipes, which is clash power 4. Right? Meaning, as we've said here, by turn 2, this will be higher clash power, and this will be... Well, this takes, what, 4 turns to reach... It takes 3 turns to reach 4. So this will be half. We could also still make it stronger if we want. But I honestly think this is pretty good as it is, to be honest with you. This I kind of fuck with this a lot. Like, I don't think we need to add any more to this. Staying on negative SP. That's fair. There's a lot of the SP ones. If you're a sinking negative unit, you get a lot of buffs with thingy. Why not make it final power? Ooh. I could make it final power. I could. You know what I could do? Yeah, because the max is max no matter what. Final power would be stronger. Yeah. We could add a bonus final power to it. But I don't want this to be... Remember, I don't want this to lose the original intent. Right? And we want to have variety. I feel like if we have this already, I feel like it's already going to be required. I'm pretty sure Tango Marinade is already like a required E.G.O gift that people use. So this might make it even more broken than it is already, which could be fair. That's why we have Ancient Effigy, because it's actually kind of hard to get Ancient Effigy. This is actually kind of like an annoying E.G.O gift to get. We could have something like, if hit, lose 1 Marinade, like lose Marinade, but I don't know. Why is final power base power stronger than clash? So base power is like the beginning of a coin, right? So it's like through like the numbers, and then final power is after the calculations. Clash power doesn't include damage. More haste. Well, it's already at 5 haste, so the haste is already really high, which is why I don't really want to add any more haste to it, because 5 haste is already good. The benefit this now is it affects all allies at the same speed instead of 1 at a time. I think I'll leave it at this for now, but we could always come back to this, chat. I think I'm perfectly content to leave it at this for now, and then we'll come back to this because, I mean, this is the one that takes the longest, to be honest with you. Speaking of, there is another... Actually, we're going to go in order, chat. We're doing... you know what? Let me also move this. So we're going to do nerf, buff, fusion, or something along that line. So let's do another nerf, shall we? Is there even anything that needs a nerf? Let's have a look. We're going to go through everything. We're going to take off the keywords. Is there even anything that I think would need a nerf? There's a few things I know here that could use a buff. I know that. Remember, nerfing is very soft. How about when hit, lose one marinade, gain a marinade? I don't want to make it so that you're punished for getting hit, especially when you're doing extreme and stuff. Don't touch calm water. Hold on, let me go through tier 1. So we're going to go down. Perversion. I honestly think perversion's actually fine. Because perversion is very good at giving you more resources of stuff that you're spamming. Ash to Ashes is a fusion. It's fine. I remember, not everything needs to be cracked. Blob's fine. Iron Stake is kind of doo-doo. But it's also part of a fusion, and I don't really want to touch the fusions if I can help it. Bloody Gadget, I think, is perfectly fine. I mean, 2 damage up to 2 allies. Or 4 damage up to 2 allies. That's pretty good. Envy Doll. Ooh, okay. Yeah, Green Sphere. Well, it's part of a fusion. That's why I don't really want to touch it. But Voodoo Doll. I'm starting to notice a pattern that's pretty much all the keywordless gifts. But Voodoo Doll could be one. Now, it is a tier 1. It's not the most crazy, but also we're looking at nerfs, chat. We're not looking at buffs right now. Buff S Faith to upgrade heal minus SP characters too. That could be a good thing for Faith, honestly. That actually would not be a bad thing. You could have it so that it's like minus coin skills, lose like 30 SP or something. I think buffs. We're looking at nerfs right now, chat. We're looking at nerfs. Is green not part of the fusion? This is a fusion, yeah. I want to look at nerfs. Is there anything here that I don't think there's going to be many nerfs. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Nerfs are very hard to actually get. I don't actually think there's going to be many nerfs. If not, in fact, that honestly, it's a very high chance, chat, that Thread and Needle might have been the only nerf. Would I nerf Nebulizer? Should we nerf Nebulizer? I do kind of feel like, chat, Nebulizer might be a bit too free. I think we might have to take Nebulizer out back. I don't know. I feel like Nebulizer's a bit too free. Think about it. What rule does it break? Boom. Variety over meta. Optimal. Right? There's no variety. If we go to look at the poise stuff, there is so many poise gifts. Is this damage? No. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. I'm going to count how many ego gifts that Nebulizer make obsolete. Pendant. Ornamental Horseshoe. Elytra. Stone Truth. Endomorphin Kit. That's 5. 5 ego gifts that theoretically make it obsolete. Now, these 2 are a part of the fusion, which is fair. Right? Always supposed to be accessible for all. I don't think I'm going to remove that effect. It technically does, yeah, it makes Horseshoe better because if you all have poise. But Stone Truth. Is that what it's called? Oh, it's called Stone Tomb. Sorry. Alright. Endorphin and Stone Tomb. I think it kind of invalidates these. Like, dude, Endorphin Kit is like hella useless compared to just one Nebulizer. I honestly wouldn't even touch that bad. If you have no pride skills and Nebulizer isn't good, what pride team doesn't have what poise team doesn't have Nebulizer? Doesn't have pride. Endorphin is also a fusion. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. The tier 4s are a bit hard to work around because this is all part of the fusion. Why isn't it even a tier 3? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even know why this is a tier 3. In fact, Nebulizer should be a tier 3, chat. This should be a tier 2. Is better on a poise ID? Not really. It gives you worse than Nebulizer at tier 1. Look, at max endorphin kit, which you'll never do by the way, because it's a fusion. You gain 3 potency and 3 count. And if it's an envy, you gain 4-4. You know what also gives you 4-4? Fucking Nebulizer. At turn start. It gives you the max upgrade of endure, and then if you get a pride, it's a 6. And Lord forbid you upgrade it, it makes it a freaking 8. It's every time they gain poise. Yeah, but this gives you 8. And you just need you don't even need a pride res. Remember, not every coin gives you poise. By the way, this also does not count, this does not count on use effects. This counts only on hits. Like, on hit gain poise. This doesn't count on use gain poise. You know? Neb is also a fusion ingredient. Now, this is correct. I kind of wanted to borrow from Guiding Gas Lamp. You might note that Guiding Gas Lamp is actually worse poise generation than the base Nebulizer. I don't think it should really do that. I'm not, guys. You think I'm going to shoot Nebulizer out back? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I do think it should be, if it's going to be the whole team, I think that the poise gain should be lower on non-fusions. Right? I don't think it should give you 4-4 for existing when you have things like these other poise gifts that have to only do it on either one ally or even endorphin, which even if you activate on a poise, you only get 1, maybe 2 at max. But if I had to nerf Nebulizer, what would you do? It's not worthless. If you gain 4 poise potency to your whole team and poise count to your whole team, that's not useless. Remember, this is the whole team gaining poise. Remember, the idea is that 90% of the time, the fusion should be more worth than the single item. Just buff the fusion? No, because buffing these two doesn't solve the problem. The problem is that Nebulizer is better than everything in this entire section. That is the problem, chat. It's exactly the same reason, okay, and I'm going to give you this reason. It is exactly the same reason that chicken was destroyed. Where is it? Here. Because this invalidated all of this got invalidated because this existed. Right? You spend cost to upgrade it? Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to be worthless. I'm just saying I think you should invest into it to actually get profit from it. Right, what I'm saying is its existence invalidates everything, even if it's tier 4s. Right? Like, you have to fuse a tier 4 to even equal Nebulizer. That shouldn't be how it works. It's a tier 2 gift. Will still Envy fit better? I don't think I want to change it drastically. Remember, the whole point is we cannot remove the original intent. Right? Because the 4-3 is getting really annoying. I know. That's what I was going to do. My original thing was going to simply, all I was going to do, guys, here's what I was going to do before you guys start flaming me. Originally, my plan was lower this number and keep this number. Because you should be rewarded for resonating. I was going to swap the power. Instead of it being 4-2, why not make this like 1-4 or 2-6 and then 3-5? So it equals the same value that you got from Nebulizer, but you're more rewarded for doing the Pride resin or the Pride Absolute resin. That's the intent. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to encourage you from doing that, not discourage you from doing that. I fuck with that. Yeah, that was my original idea. I'm not going to remove the power from it completely. Although I think I will reduce the poise count a little bit and potency. Instead of it being 8 max, I maybe will do 5 max at like a resin. Because I still think 5 is incredibly high for free, essentially. Especially when you combine it with other things. But first, let me take a screenshot of it and then we'll discuss it. Because I think you shouldn't be punished, but I think the power needs to be adjusted from it. It's cool that other E.G.Os can use it, and that is fair. But we want to adjust it slightly. So we are going to say nerf. So let me bring it up here. Okay. Oh. Okay. And boom. So I am going to say. Oh, my tablet turned off. Okay, sorry about that. I'm going to say nerf / adjusted. Because it is a nerf. I am reducing it, but I'm also adjusting how the entire E.G.O gift works. Well, not adjusting how the whole thing works, but I am going to adjust the values. It's not just a strict nerf. It is going to be better for the Pride resin, but it's going to be worse on Lat. So I think immediately what I do is this should not be 4-4. I don't think it's 4-4. I think that's too strong. This should not be 4-4. At max, this should be like 2-2. At level 1. On use instead of on hit. Yeah, that could be added as well. This is 2-2. And we can keep this at 2-2. I actually think that's fine. I actually think so now it has gone from 6 to 4, but it's still a lot. Because you have to Pride Absolute res. But we could adjust this as well if you wanted to and say make this as 3-3. So instead of it being 6, it is now 5. Instead of it being front loaded, it is now res loaded. Right? You are more punished for, well, you're not more punished. You are more, what's the word? You have a greater benefit from absolute resining. Right? But on a non-resin, you are rewarded less. Remember, this is the entire team. This is the whole, all allies gain this. No, you're more rewarded for resining, is what I'm trying to say. So, more reward. 3. The idea is that you are more rewarded for residence. That's the idea. You are more rewarded for residence, which fits the theme of the thing. Less upfront, more overall. But the actual overall is still reduced. It has gone from 6 to 5 total. Incentivized. Thank you. That is incentivized, encouraged. Thank you. I'm not good with words. You guys know this. More rewarded asterisks for residents. Right? You are more incentivized to do this. Now, then it also comes the plus versions. I think you would just increment the values. But I honestly think that you do this and I wouldn't even touch it further beyond that. In fact, what if I simply removed the upgrades? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I actually don't even think that's a bad idea. I actually kind of like the idea because the fusion... Hold on. The fusion is a higher total overall than the nebulizer. So you're actually more incentivized to work toward the fusion because the fusion is better. And that's how it should work. The fusion of something should always be better than the sum of its parts in a circumstantial situation. So you could theoretically do this because you got to remember, you get nebulizer. That's like every turn you're getting, what is it, 5/5? Every turn you're getting 5/5. Every turn. This is not including if you have other gifts. This is not including tier 3s. This is not including tier 2s. This is not including tier 1s. You can't really use it? No, you can though. It's still 5/5 every turn. Right? Like, you're still getting 5/5. Remember, you still have other... Remember, the idea is you want to have other gifts. Yeah, I know. The fusion gets rid of the problem. Well, we can always adjust the fusion thing. But remember, if you're getting nebulizer, like, you get this too. Once you get these two is what you want, right? Like, 4-leaf clover. When allied with poise, critical hits, you gain potency and count. This helps accelerate you. Like, if you're a non-poise team, you get nebulizer, you get this, and these two help carry your poise potency. Each turn for the whole effect. Yes, that's why I made the back end 3. So you get 3 per turn. You start with 5/5 and gain 3. This makes getting Cleaver Bus harder? No, it won't. Because, you guys, nebulizer alone should not carry the entirety of critting. Good luck. Yeah, no worries. Guys, the idea is that one E.G.O gift should not be required to handle everything. You should be getting a lot of stuff. If you want to crit on a non-poise team, you want to get this, you want to get this, say you want to get these two. And with all of these combined, you are then rewarded your consistent crit. Remember, this is 5 at the start and then 3 per each turn with this change. Not including 4-leaf clover, which gives you 5 potency and 2 count at turn start once per turn. Then add in on wave start. Yeah, I can do that. Turn start, wave start. I feel like that's fair. It's pretty much on every instance. You could even make it turn start if you wanted to, but I still think it's too strong. But you could say first start of turn / wave. You know what I'm saying? The idea is one E.G.O gift should not carry every single function. If I get nebulizer, I shouldn't be able to 100% always guarantee crit. I should get nebulizer, I should get the tier 1s and the tier 3, and then I'm able to guarantee crit on non-poise teams. Remember, this is non-pride teams. Yeah, you could add in here like first start of turn / wave. I think that's fine. Like, that's just how Limbus is coded. Right? And you could even argue, you could make this like 4. I still don't want to make the value above 5. Because again, the argument is this. Should realistically multiple, like how speaking to charge doesn't work with only one gift. Exactly, thank you. And we'll use charge as an example. Right? If I want to go to charge here, right? If I am a non-charge team, what do I want? Right? I want this employee card. I want portable battery. I want lightning rod. And even with all of this, I still want the tier 4, which gives me max charge per turn. But for maximum consistency, you need a bare minimum of 2 gifts. One of them being a tier 4, which gives you 8 charge count, or 8 charge count, 12 charge count, and then this one, which if you upgrade or not, gives you 3 or more if you have envy. So with these two together, it gives you a total of 10 to 15 charge count a turn. With poise, it's the exact same thing. Nebulizer plus this... Sorry. Get rid of charge. Nebulizer plus 4-leaf clover gives you... Like, let's do the math here. The tier 4 you upgrade rather than a tier 2? Correct. So theoretically, these would be easier to get than the tier 4. because the tier 4 is more expensive, right? Because it takes a lot more. And these are lower rarity, which means you can fuse them faster and easier. With this and this, let's just try the math out, right? With my math, okay? You gain 5 on the first turn. And if you crit on the first turn, just as an example, you crit on the first turn, which is a what, 25% chance? You gain 5 potency and 2 count next turn. So, if you crit once, just for the sake of the argument, you now start the next battle turn with 13 poise potency, with just these 2 ego gifts, 13 and what? 6 or 5 poise count. 5 poise count and 13 poise potency with just these 2 gifts, assuming you crit a single time. Not including Ornament Hanshu, not including Pendant of Nostalgia, which are 2 tier 1s. If you do include these in Upgrade Ornament, then as you can see, gain poise count to all allies instead. So this solves your poise count. And I think that's pretty fair, because once you start hitting 13, you start getting crits. So it takes you about 2 turns, 2+ turns to start consistently critting if you are a non-Pride team. If you are a Pride team, then it's even faster. So, well, if you are a non-Pride team, if you are a non-Pride team, if you are a Pride team, it's faster. We could even do this. You know what? I'm actually totally fine with doing this, chat. You know what? If we're going to make this, because I think I am going to do this. You know what? Do this. There you go. You could even do this if you want. But if I'm going to do that, if this is going to be a 1 fusion, because I think I'm committed to making this a 1 fusion. If I'm going to make this a 1 fusion, then I'll get rid of these, I'll get rid of, ooh, I can't do that. Let me adjust this real quick. I'll do a couple of these real quick so I can. Yeah. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Make this first turn / wave. And then make these instead of +2. No, stay as +2 and get rid of this. There you go. So we made a fell bullet upscale. Yes. So it went from 6 to 5. 6 to 4. But it is 1 fusion, and it gives you 2 poise count and potency per turn. Plus the initial. What's the TLDR? This is just the talk about nebulizer. Hold on, let me fix the camera as well. The camera's up. But to be honest with you, I kind of liked that this gave 3. I kind of like that it gave 5. But again, we're covering it now. No free rate. Yes, this is buffed, but it's now become a 1 fusion slot. And it's very small poise gains over a long period, instead of it being massive over more. 6-4, because I was just comparing it. We're doing balance. Yeah, we're doing a bunch of balance, ego balances just for fun. So now, what is the intention of the ego gift? It has now become less upfront. It has now become Pride Res incentivized. And it is now here. It is now supposed to be for longer equals more. Because the longer you go on, the better it is. But overall, we have gutted its poise. Well, we haven't gutted its poise gain, but we have reduced its poise gain. You could even put 3 on the beginning. If you seriously wanted to. You could do this. I'm even willing to do this. 3 on turn start, and then Pride Resin 2. So it becomes a 5 at start, and then 2 overall. It's like why they could use 7 resonance. Maybe. I could maybe do a double fusion. Maybe. It's a possibility as well. That's the whole point. The whole point is that it's not supposed to give infinite Void Res, but it's supposed to help jumpstart you. We could do 1 upgrade path, but the idea is, in my eyes, I always think that you should upgrade this into the tier 4 if you want maximum value of it. The idea is that you combine this with like Clover, Shoe, and then the other one. And then all of these together, plus this, gives you the poise. We should pop that one next. Yeah, we should really do compression bandages. Yeah, it is per quad mostly, but I think my original thing was this. I think it's weird that the nebulizer by itself was better than the fusion. I don't think it should ever work like that. I'm going to say this. I'm going to make this 3. So it is now 5 total on the beginning of a wave, which is 1 less than it was before. But it's only 1 fusion now, and you gain 2 on Pride Res. So you gain 5 at the start, and then you gain 2 every turn. And I think that's all we need to do for it. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I actually think I'm quite happy with this. Why is the wave written like that? How's it 3 at the start, then 2 after? Assuming you Pride Res at the start, because it's Pride Res now. Right? So start of the encounter if you Pride Res. And then everything after is 2 Pride Res after. So I think this is fair. Because this is 1 less value than it was, so 1 6 to 5. It's still, which means that even if you Pride Res, which is way easier to do on non-Pride teams, you get pretty much, what is that, like 90% of the value of it? I think this is good. I think I'm happy with this. We're going to leave it at this. Next E.G.O gift. Someone mentioned compression bandages, and I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, we should go buff compression bandage. Sucks ass. This sucks ass. This is ass. I know how to fix this gift immediately, by the way. I'm not even kidding with you. I think you do 1 thing and it fixes the whole gift. First things first, let's screenshot this. Make it a fusion. I think that's probably the better way to do it. But I'm going to just do a very easy fix. So this will be buff. Okay? And what we're going to do is ready? This is simple. Done. I'm not even kidding you. We should make it fuse with phlebotomy and first aid. Okay, I kind of like that idea. But if you wanted a really easy buff, you just do that. If you wanted a really easy buff. Three blood isn't doing anything? Okay, when you upgrade it, it does more damage, right? It's, I believe at, hold on, what is it at max upgrade? At max upgrade, it is 3 to 7. Okay, that's silly. It should just be 7. And then you gloom attacks heal extra HP. But I kind of like the idea of fusing. So I think we should fuse. Fuse with phlebotomy and bandages. Wouldn't that make bandages have 2 fusions? Wait, Does bandages only have one fusion? Yeah, bandages only has one fusion, right? It's the bleed. %5 of the final coin. Oh, yeah, here's the pinwheel. Pinwheel, right? Yeah, pinwheel has it. What if we just make it so that blunt damage heals? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you could just do that. Yeah, to be honest with you. How about this, dude? Fuck upgrading this, bro. How about this, chat? Fuck upgrading it. You make that 10. And then you say... Blunt attack skills heal an extra 5 HP. What if you just did this? Use it with voodoo? Potential. That's layered bandages, not compression bandages. True. You are right. There you go. So, you deal 10%, 10 bonus damage per coin. Right? So each coin deals an extra 10, which depending on how many coins you have, can do bonus damage. And then blunt attack skills heal an additional 5 HP as well. I don't even know why as well is here. Just deal 5 additional HP. In fact, not even just additional, just heal 5 HP. You know what? I should really be saying this. Fuck this. Get rid of this and put coin in here. I don't know why this is in here. Let me copy this and fix this. Ah. There we go. So, we have this, chat. Another middle upscale. When hitting an enemy with a blunt coin, deal 10 bonus blunt damage. Blunt attack skills heal 5% HP and it has no upgrades. No, because it's tier 2. It's not that strong. It's tier 2 with no upgrades. We're not going to do percent damage for it because damage types are not supposed to be that strong. This becomes insanely good in early game. You could even lower the damage if you want. Like, if you think 10 is too much, you could drop it to, like, 7 or something. But I think 10 is fine. Middle propaganda. If you want to drop this because it's coin now, you could drop this to, like, 5. Become a cup and slash gift. Amazing, executive man. I think if I wanted to be special about it, I would do a fusion with it. Yeah. TLDR. The TLDR is that it's stronger now. I kind of want to change it from 10. I actually think 10 might be too much. 10 might be too much with what we have right now. I think I'm going to change it to 7, which is what the original one is. Or even 5. Because if each coin is doing a lot, you remember you don't want it to obsolete everyone. I say 7 because 7 is the max fusion before. We'll say 7. Can you please clear your beard count? Well, what I would do is I would just upgrade the other bandages. I'm going to say 7 because that's what the max fusion of this one was, by the way. It was 7. So, when hitting an enemy with a blunt coin, deal 7 bonus damage. Blunt attack skills heal 5 HP per turn. Additional 5 HP. I think that's pretty decent. Maybe we lower this as well to 3. Maybe we keep this at 3. I'll just say 5 for now, just because. Hurting teddy bear fusion. True. Speaking of fusion. I did want to do a new fusion. It's just a flat 7. It's not percentage now. I did want to do a new fusion. I am going to be doing a charge fusion. Chat, I am going to be creating an R Corp team fusion. And you are going to help me. We are going to need to take a few E.G.O gifts across the board and create a R Corp fusion. Because the R Corps deserve a fusion. And we're going to take inspiration from the Liu fusion that they made. So we have the Liu fusion. Make painkillers a part of it? Unironically, we can do that. That sounds like a good idea. So, we have the Uniform Liu Association as inspiration. This is probably going to be our biggest one yet. Okay? Because this is kind of like an idea of how this works. Now, I think we should have it be only, or I guess I should say the La Marcha Land fusion, which is specifically targeting Blood Fiends. What's the recipe? It's going to be a mask. Yes, it's going to be an R Corp mask from Library of Ruina, right? So, what the fuck do we make out of it? I'm trying to think. Does goat horns fuse into anything? No. Okay, goat horns. So this suit. I was just going to do an R Corp mask. I think we grab the goat horns. I think that's one. I like the idea. Someone said painkillers. I like that. So we're going to do the generator, emanative generator. I think painkillers, goat horns, and one more thing on top of that. Get rid of the indiscriminates. That. Hold on, let me just start taking screenshots real quick. This is like a very wordy skill, by the way, so we're gonna just have to you're just gonna have to give me a second to put this in the so we have generator. Then we're gonna grab painkillers, which I think is a funny idea. I love the idea of painkillers. Is it tier 2 or do we need a tier 1 for the tier 4? I think you need two tiers, don't you? Tier 2s, right? What about a bleed? Yes, we need a bleed. Yes, good idea. Good idea. We need a bleed. 3, 2, 2. Okay, beautiful. We're gonna do a bleed. Because our corp need bleed. So what bleed tier 2 could we use? Hold on. What if we did to be naughty? Because they're suppressing an abnormality. Get it? It's like R Corp suppression. You know, like a funny reference. You know, it's like, yo, I'm calling in the R Corp. I'm using a little plushie of the abnormality because that's when you would summon them in. Maybe sinking. That's also another thing. Another problem is that, yeah. So there's a small problem, right? The R Corp are like 5 different status effects. They're all charged, but they're charge. Rabbit is bleed, rupture. Most soul is bleed, and then the other 3 are sinking. Right? So, do we use a bleed gift? Wait, how many... What's the longest fusion in the game? It's, the tier 5, right? Yeah, it's a tier 5. Unfortunately, with the way fusions work, is we can't... Oh, no, this is triple fusion. Yeah, we have triple fusion tier 5. Then we remove painkillers. But I think painkillers makes the most sense for it being generalist. All 5 IDs. Protect the town. Technically, I mean, there is a 5-tier fusion. We could add a tier 1 sinking ID, like sinking E.G.O gift to it. Like, if we add plushie, is there a spare tier 1 sinking we could add, chat? That, like, no one uses. That isn't in any fusion. That makes sense. Not really, is there? There's not a lot of tier 1 sinkings, is there? The tree here? The L tree. Brambles? Rags? Rags, I don't want to touch because this involves minus coins. And when we have to deal with minus coins, I feel like that's going to be a bit annoying. We could do the L tree. I mean, this and the plushie pretty much do the same thing, no? So what? It would be imitative generator, painkillers, a tier 1 bleed. Yeah, let's have a look at a tier 1 bleed real quick. Let's have a look at a tier 1 bleed. Oh! Tangled! Oh! We'll do Tangled Bundle! It's speed! Okay. We'll do Tangled because it's based on speed. And our corps are fast. So we'll do Bundle and the Erdl tree. And we'll use that. And that'll be a 3-2-1-1, which would equal 4. Okay, let's do that. I'm happy with it. That sounds like a good idea. Now, obviously, this would be a little bit... now, this is like a 4-tier fusion, which doesn't exist in the game, right? Like, you can't fuse something 4 times. Now, you could theoretically fuse the generator and the painkillers, and maybe... Wait a minute. Chat. We could do 2 unique fusions. Only Arcorp and Rhino fast? Well, what if we did 2 fusions? What if we made a tier 3 fusion, which was a tier 3 fusion specifically for the reindeer, and then a tier 4 fusion for the entirety of Arcorp? We could do something like that. Hold on, let me add these in real quick, and then we'll talk about it. That could be a possibility. That obviously is a bit more work on our end, but that would be a thing to do. Yes, we'll make a tier 3 ingredient. So, here's what we're going to do. The painkiller and the imitative generator. We could do these 3 as a tier 3. Or we could just do these 2. These 2 equal the tier 3. Right? This will equal the tier 3. And then you fuse the 3 plus these 2 to equal the 4. Okay, yeah, optimally, you would do a tier 3. Wait. Oh, God. That's so much work. Okay, there is something we could do. Okay, there is something we could do. But this would require so much more work. We could make 2 separate R-Corp fusions. We could have a fusion with these. And then we could have a fusion with this instead. To make the rabbit one. I feel like that's so much work, though. I feel like I'm not going to be able to do that. I think we need to keep it simple. I'm going to let Kim Ji-hoon know about this. Hey, you know what? If he wants to... If they want to borrow anything from the stream, hey, they're perfectly fine, too. I feel like... that's too many stuff. I have to make this. Yeah, like TKT Watch, exactly. Where there's 4 gifts. There's 4 gifts, but you could do each kind of fusion of them. But instead of it being... Okay, it would be more like this, chat. Hold on. Let me get it out. Let me get it out. Also fuse all this together. So it would kind of be like this. You could choose the path. I've what Cassipium. Oh, but if I'm choosing the path, then the okay, if I'm choosing a path, then maybe the plushie would be better. Oh god, dude, there's so many things we could do. Hold on, let me get the plushie real quick. The plushie could be a great idea. Oh my god, dude, there's so many good ideas for an R-Corp fusion. Oh, I hate this. If I get the plushie, I could use that as the tier 3 generator. 111 also makes it. Let me get this out. Okay, hold on. Let me put these ideas on the side real quick. Okay, hold on. I put you on the side real quick, just on the side temporarily, and you on the side temporarily. We could do this. You merge this two. Grab you, move you over here. Then we need another sinking gift. But what's a tier 2 sinking gift that doesn't have any uses? Randoer? This isn't a fusion. Melted Spring's in a fusion. Wait, is Melted Spring in a fusion, chat? Wait, chat, Melted Spring isn't in a fusion. I don't think it is. We could put Crumbs in a fusion. Oh, wait, Red Order. I don't think any of these are in a fusion. Except, no, none of these are in a fusion. Guys, what do you think? Red Order, Spring, or Crumbs? I feel like any of these is fine. I feel like Red Order might be cooler, actually. Because this is allies with Gloom and Wrath. That's them. Okay, we're doing Red Order. That's literally Melted Stream because of Rabbit. Yeah, but think about it. This is for reindeers. This is the reindeer buff. Because guess what? Gloom, Wrath, reindeer. It's perfect. Okay, we have to do Red Order. Okay. Hold on, let me cook chat. Wait, no, we already have reindeer. We need rhino. Hold on. Now I'm a bit confused. Do we already have reindeer? Are we doing painkiller with reindeer? Is this reindeer fusion? If this is reindeer, and this is rhino, and this is rabbit, I don't think we do R-Corp. I don't think we do rhino. So this would be rabbit and rhino. So this would be like R-Corp 4th pack. This would be reindeer specific. So we have 2 fusions. We have reindeer specifically, and then so maybe we just do like this then, or just these 2. It just splits into 2 paths. Because let's be real, rabbit rhinos are unfortunately shoved together. Like that's what I'm saying. Reindeer would make more sense with painkillers. So this is reindeer. Hold on, I gotta write now. So this would be reindeer. And then this would be rabbit, rhino. So it's like a split path. Torn Bandolier for rabbit? Well then, the thing about it is if you do Torn Bandolier, you lose out on the gun fusion, chat. You lose out on Desperado, and you don't want to lose out on Desperado. Right? So I feel like that's kind of like yeah, that's the problem. So what if we just did this? I have an easier idea, chat. What if we forced the fusion? So what about this? Because there is more reindeer than there are rabbits, we're gonna do this. Painkillers and generator will create the R Corp tier 3. Then, plus the little to be naughty plush. Well, this is the, like, I wouldn't say it's the R Corp. I'd say it's the reindeer thing. So this is the reindeer. Tier 3. Then you plus this, and it equals the R Corp 4th pack. I think this is what you do. Because it stays in line with the tier 3. Because there's more reindeer, you're more benefited to doing a reindeer fusion, right? So it turns from, oh, this is just a like a charge sinking fusion into a... What about rupture pills? Yeah, I could add rupture, but I think we'll stick to bleed. What about the other two? We won't use these. I don't think we'll use these. Or, okay. It's either we get rid of these, chat, or we get rid of this. What do you think? I think, does this also, does 2 tier 1s also work? I mean, remember, we have to stay in line. We cannot create anything from nothing. Right? I don't think it's fair to create a gift that requires 4 fusions. No. The sinking part stays in this. This affects everyone. But for instance, if you're running... Okay, let me explain, right? If you have all rabbits, like all R-Corp, you get more buffs with this. But this still has sinking in it. But it's sinking and bleed now, and charge. I think we get rid of these two. I think, unfortunately, I don't want to change the game up that hard, right? So here's how we're gonna do this. You get the reindeer tier 3, which only works on reindeer. Then you fuse it into the tier 4, and you gain the bleed effect and a full R-Corp buff. So then you get a buff where it's like each R-Corp member or something like that. We'll figure out what it does specifically. But let me fix up all of the wording here. I want to fix the order of everything. Let me erase everything here. Okay. So we keep this. We're going to move this here. Protection as well for Masol. Yeah, everyone's getting it. So we do it kind of like a... Let's just do it in like a straight line. And like this. So what we do now is we go here, here, here. This equals... Oh, sorry. This equals the tier 3 reindeer antlers. Something. Then you fuse these two together to create the tier 4 R Corp 4th pack. Or just R Corp helmet. Or something like that. Not sure. This is an art stream, by the way. So here we go. We have the imitative generator and painkillers. Creates a tier 3 reindeer antlers. I'll just say charge sinking. Then, if you fuse the antlers with the naughty plushie, you get the tier 4 R Corp, which is specifically charge. This is a team fusion. R Corp adaptive helmet. Okay, I like that. Add that in there. R Corp adaptive helmet. Charzing and Charblade. And then this is specifically a team fusion. While the other one is specifically charge bleed. Charge sinking, sorry. There we go. So, with the imitative generator and painkillers, aching antlers. You know what? Yeah, we'll call it aching antlers. That sounds nicer. This gets buff with telescope, correct. Well, technically every team thing gets buff with telescope. I'll make that bigger. Aching antlers as a tier 3. Beautiful. So, let's go over this one more time. Imitative generator plus plus the painkillers create a tier 3 called Aching Antlers, which is a charge sinking buff. If you fuse the Aching Antlers plus a tier 2, you gain a tier 4 called the R Corp Adaptive Helmet. Now, if you really wanted to like buff this helmet, I think you could. If this is a unique tier 3, does 3-2-1 also fuse a tier 4 chat or no? You could put the Tangled Bundle in here. We're going to draw this now, don't worry. We're actually going to draw it ourselves. So we drew this ourselves. Here's the Marinade offering. A unique tier 4 that we made for Bongi. The little Bongi on the statue with a little Marinade. It's very cute. Does a 3-2-1 work for tier 4? I'm pretty sure it does, right? Because I'm pretty sure... Actually, I can just check the recipe list, bro. Pretty sure some of them do require 3-2-1. 3-1-1. 3-2-1. Yeah. We could add the Tangled... You know what? I'm going to add the bundle to it. I think that makes it more fun. We're going to re-add the bundle. Actually, you know what? I already have the bundle here. Yeah, Black Sheet has it. So you know what that means? That means we can do it. Three, two, one, one. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Gonna move this. Gonna grab this. It's here. Also gonna grab this, move that up here. There we go. So. Three, 2 creates a tier 3. And then the tier 3 plus a tier 2 and a tier 1 create the R Corp Adaptive Helmet. Now you might say, what's the correlation between this? Well, this is Tangled. This gives you speed. So this is speed and bleed. And now you'd be like, why the bloody plushie? Because this is an abnormality. Now you may be like, oh, why? What's the correlation? Well, it's simple. I'll give you a little explanation. The funny thing is, it's a reference to how R-Corp works. Now, I know you might not get it, because you may have LARPed Lobotomy Corporation, but let me fill you in for you. Lobotomy Corporation, the R-Corp units were sent to hunt down abnormalities. But what do? You get the naughty plushie because it's an abnormality. It's a funny little reference. You combine it with the antlers to get the R-Corp. Now it's like, well, what do you get the Tangled Bundle for? The Tangled Bundle is strictly there because R-Corp is speed-oriented. Specifically, the rabbit is speed-orientated. So we just have the Tangled Bundle in there for fun. Just to add in a little bit of, just to fit it in. Just because it's fitted in there. The Tangled Button, for all intents and purposes, does not need to be in there, but for the sake of the team fusion, I'm giving it an extra thing, so it requires, a couple E.G.O gifts to fuse. But you could get rid of the Tangled Bundle, it doesn't need to be in there. But we'll leave it in there just for the sake of it, just for the sake of our corp. But you could theoretically just delete this, and I don't think it changes much. You could theoretically just delete this and it doesn't change much. What about Hair Stride? Okay, well, the thing about that is they need to be fast. True. It is a speed thing. You could have Air Stride. What if we get... hold on. Is Hair Stride a tier 3 chat? We might be able to get rid of the... we might be able to get rid of the Little Be Naughty plushie. That's right, it is a tier. Isn't it tier 2? It's tier 2. What if we replaced Little and Naughty plushie with Hair Stride? We could do that. This would technically fit just as well. This could be for the bleed of the rabbit. So, well, these are both rabbit fusions, to be honest with you. But this is a rhino buff, and then this is a rabbit buff. Even this is high show. This doesn't actually have a fusion, but yeah, this is technically high show related, which is why I don't really want to put it in here. So yeah, what does the Bongi statue do? Okay, I'll show you the marinade off. So we created something called the marinade offering. Marinade offering is a fusion between the two E.G.O gifts. Combat start. All allies gain 3 leaking marinade. Max 5 hate. Don't worry about that. And then if unit speed is faster than target, you gain leaking marinade by 3 golden recipe source. Leaking marinade no longer expires. So these are unique effects that you got from the April Fool's event. TLDR, it gives you 5 haste for your whole team, and it gives you 6 clash power to your whole team. But it takes a few turns to ramp up. We're going to add a rupture. Might as well use the other painkiller. God, what if we did the painkillers from the other one? That is true. We could just add the other painkillers. It would make it a 3-3-1. Let me have a look real quick. There are enhancers. So it's fun, pretty much. Rerun is a tier 5 at that point. Is 3-3-1 tier 5? I don't think 3-3-1 is tier 5. Pretty sure 3-3-1 is tier 4. But this is a very expensive fusion already. That's why I'm feeling it's like a bit expensive. I do think it might be a bit expensive. You know. Out of these options, let me look at the Liu fusion real quick. The Liu fusion is just a 2-1-3. Then you also have the bleed fusion, which is a 1-2-4. Could be a Pierce gift. It's a bit hard to decide. It needs to be godlike. Yeah, exactly. I think we keep this bit here. Hello. And so like a 3-2, which turns into a 3. I mean, I could turn this into a 4. Screw it. Turn into a Luna memory. 3-3-1 is tier 4 because Burn Fusion is 3-3-1. Then what if we just had Tangled Bundle instead? 3-3-3 can make it with that. 3-2-1 can make it tier 4. There's so many things that we could do here. It's very like We have a lot of options, which is like a great thing. I kind of like the Enhancer Mark IV being integrated because it's pills. I think it's really funny that the R-Corp fusion is just a bunch of pills, but this wouldn't really make much sense because only the reindeer have pills, which is why we have painkillers there. You know? So I think I get rid of Enhancer. I think I get rid of Hair Strider too. And I think we stick to the original, which is the little naughty plushie and the bundle. And then this becomes a 3-2-1. Into crackheads. No, the pills are supposed to be just for the reindeer. I think we stick with this, chat. I think this is a lot more fame. And this becomes like a craftable tier 4. Although arguably you could say it's still too expensive. Maybe you get rid of the Tangled, you get rid of the plushie and just put Tangled bundle in here. You know what? We could just do that, chat. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Because if you look at the Bloodfiend fusion, or the Liu fusion, like, look, if we have a look at these two, right? Turn them into crackheads. Like, if you look at this is just a tier 4, a tier 2, and a tier 1. If you look at this, it's just a tier 3, a tier 2, and a tier 1. So really, it's like... What if we did this? You know what? I think I know what I'm doing. I think I know what I'm going to do. I think we get rid of this antler idea. I know it's sad. I think we get rid of the antler idea. We get rid of this bit too. And we just do this. I know this is sad. But I think for the sake of clarity and sticking into with the themes of Limbus, we do this. Shouldn't there be a sinking gift inside? There will be sinking in this. The painkillers is technically part of the sinking. Don't worry about it. This is technically supposed to be the reindeer part, but this is a team fusion. This is so sad. The gift gains sinking. Yeah, so the magnifying glass of me even taking notes. Hey, if any ProjectMoon employees are listening. Anyway, I think this makes our life a lot easier. And we follow. Why not muzzle? Because muzzle is part of a fusion, so we don't want to get rid of muzzle. These are not all of these do not have a fusion. Right? So you could take this with other stuff. Ramble, round, yeah. So technically, this is supposed. So this is like R-Corp in general. This is reindeer. So you could say this is like, I don't know, rabbit, reindeer, rhino, whatever. Look, rhino don't even exist. Okay, I know rhino R-Corp Mersault exists, but let's be real. It's mainly just reindeer and rabbit. Okay. So the R-Corp adaptive helmet team fusion. So look at 820 and help me. You have to answer him, bro. You have to answer him. What does it mean? All right, let's create this fusion. Rabbit also has a single. Yeah, but Rabbit is more glazed. So we're going to go with that headcanon. Oop, I did not mean to do that. Okay. Beautiful. Sinking Portrait is also in 2 fusions. Yes, true. Didn't realize he was artist. We are doing artist. Also, oh, technically I included this in it. Did I move this? I feel like I should do a double down. But you know what, it's fine. Technically, the equals should be back down here. This should be moved to the side. There we go. All right, back to drawing. So, we are going to be drawing ourselves an R-Corp helmet. Wouldn't the go horn be considered a rhino horn? Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Consider it a rhino horn. Anyway, what the fuck does this even do? We should probably start writing this out. Well, first of all, we should draw this. Now, this is just a helmet, so what I'm going to do, chat, is I'm just going to go on Library of Ruina. I'm going to type in R-Corp. I'm going to look at the helmet thing you get as a reward. Wherever it is. Perception of R-Corp. Does it show me what the thing looks like? Ah, perfect. So I'm just going to do a rabbit one, because I feel like the rabbit one is the most iconic, you know what I'm saying? But is there like a generalized helmet? I don't think there is, right, chat? No, I don't think there's a generalized helmet. I'm just going to do a rabbit one. We have seen Raps and Rams, so there are more horns in the industry. But I think for the sake of ease, we'll do a rabbit, just because it's the most iconic. There are 3 options. We could technically draw all 3 and have them hanging on a coat. Oh, what if we have them hanging on a coat? Hold on. Idea. We gotta add a little bit of creativity to it. What if we drew like a little, a coat rack? Or like a hat rack? Horrible straight line. And then we'll put the rhino, like the rabbit one here, a rhino one here, and then a reindeer one there. Okay, hold on. That's kind of funny. That sounds like so much work. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to do a fucking rabbit. Fuck that, chat. I thought about it, and then I immediately went, fuck that. I'm not doing that. Anyway, let's draw a fucking rabbit. I thought about it for like 10 seconds, and immediately I thought, like, fuck drawing. That sounds like a nightmare. Now, I'm not an artist, so forgive me if my drawing's a little sucky, but you're gonna have to fucking live with it, okay? Because I'm not an artist. There you go. No. There we go. We got my shitty R-Corp hat, which let me clean up a little bit. There you go. And clean up a little bit down here. There we go. Literally Bob Ross. Is that an Uma? R-Corp amazing. Amazing. We'll add him to the drawing. It's not an Uma. It is in fact supposed to be the tier 4. I'll put like... I don't want to move this. I feel like I should move all this. This up like... Oh, I gotta clean this up real quick. Clean you. Clean these lines. I'll fix that up later. I'll just replace that. There we go. Then I'll draw a little circle around it. Like I did with the other one. I say circle, but it's a square. There we go. Our Corp adaptive helmet. The head of balance and design. Dude, I'm doing this shit for free, bro. Dude, Kim Ji-hoon can retire his whole ass team, bro. And I'm doing this shit for free. Hey, you know what? It's worth, though. Actually, high-key. Like, I ain't even memeing. The meme, though. Alright, now we actually have to make the fucking E.G.O gift chat. Jesus. Also, I should probably make this a bit bigger. All these squares, make a circle. Alright. Oh. We have to make it now. I'm putting the drawing away. Okay. We're just going to copy the text from this one. Bring it down here. And Kim Ji-hoon might be sending me a job offering. Imagine we have a looking employee. Hey, I'm just saying, man. Sometimes the shit I say on stream happens in real life. But Kim Ji-hoon, if you're, or any ProjectMoon employee. Dude, we've only done like 5 gifts, bro. God, we've done like nothing, chat. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fucking gifts total, bro. If you include the fusions, it's 5 gifts. It's been almost 3 hours. Dude, this is exhausting, bro. Dude, no wonder fucking ProjectMoon team take their fucking, you know, look how much they gotta deal with, chat. And then imagine, instead of having you guys yapping into my ear about the questionable decisions, imagine they had like 50 billion people, dude. No wonder this is actually hard, bro. Anyway. Memeing aside. Part 2? Nah, there's no part 2. But we're doing one of these. If we feel like we do another one, we'll see how well it does. Alright. So we need to take inspiration from how it works on here. So we're going to say this. Is it turns? How do they do these gift fusions? Hold on, let me have a look. We have to look at one of these fusions. I want this to be a fusion that requires the team. It needs the team. So it'd be like this. No, it should be the Blood Fiend one. Where's the Blood Fiend fusion? The other Blood Fiend fusion. Tier 4, tier 4, tier 4. Get rid of this. This gift activates for the whole encounter when 3 or more identities have skills that consume blood feast. We want the Pequod. Where's the Pequod one? I wanna word it like the Pequod. This one. Activates when there are 3 or more Pequod faction identities. So this would be activates when there are more. I'll say, what, 4 are core pack identities? Our corp faction identities. I'll say 3. I'll just say 3 our corp faction identities. The 3 seems to be the limit. It's either 3 or 5, chat. Activates when there are more. Oh. On 3 or more, yeah. Activates when there are 3 or more. Yeah, I'm just stupid then. Activates when there are 3 or more R-Corp faction identities. How many are there? There's only 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 5. Should we just do 5? No. Should we just do 5 or 4? Oh, no. We'll do 3 as the minimum, but make it so that you get maximum benefits at 5. Yeah. The idea... So 3 is the minimum, right? But you get more if you have more, right? You get the maximum bonus, which is 5. I'll say 3 or more. Because this is like the Kurokomo, where technically it's infinite. Alright. Activates when there are 3 or more R-Corp faction identity. You might bring 3 around. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now, how the fuck do we word this? I'm just gonna look at the quad one. So we need to simply add all the... Now the hard part is we have to add the effects of all of this. Now the annoying part is fucking imitative generator. Right? Imitative generator is the most annoying one here. So first we have to add better versions of the skills. So we get rid of this conditional. And say plus coin power to skill 3. They gain or unique charge count. We can add that. We'll get rid of the conditional, so it doesn't activate on charge. It doesn't need 10 charge. I like the idea that it removes indiscriminate as well. We need to make it... Yeah. It'll proc charge, sinking... It'll proc charge, sinking, bleed, and rupture, maybe. So let me have a read of what this does, by the way. Because this is actually like such a cracked gift, by the way. Yeah, we're removing this and we're removing the charge conditional. So it doesn't need a charge conditional. So it's plus coin power for skill 3s that gain or consume charge. And then there's also, if said skill has less than 5 base power, deal 25% more bonus damage. If it has more, gain additional coin power. Fuck, this is a cracked thing, dude. Max count is 40 for a unit. You gain 3 charge count and turn such. Can't gain that much challenge as attack power. Jesus, that's so much. We gotta give them the coin power. I feel like the coin power is... Hold on, what does the Liu... I gotta use the Liu fusion and the quad as like reference. Exactly, dude. That thing gives so much power, bro. Like, what the fuck? So, Liu Association base attack skills gain coin power +2. Non-skill 3s inflict burn. See, this like affects everyone, but I specifically want it to be faction based. Now, this does have like half faction based, so I feel like I want specifically the reference the quad one, which only works on the faction identity. Faction identities gain coin power up. Reload for rabbit. Yeah, we'll give it a reload as well. Might as well, right? This might be a very fucking wordy thing, chat. Alright, activates when there are 3 or more R-Corp faction identities. Alright. We are going to have this. We are going to write... looking at... Oh, sorry. Gonna grab the charge thing real quick, which is plus coin power skill to skills that gain charge. Okay, plus coin power +1 to, you know, I'll just say like yeah, gain. No, I'll just write it exactly like the E.G.O does it. Plus coin power +1 to skill 3s at gain or consume charge. Remember, we're going to give it a faction unique effect, alright? You know what? Unironically, what if I just gave it +2 coin power? Because the E.G.O gift, this E.G.O gift gives +2, but it needs a conditional. So what if we just removed the conditional and gave it +2? So all skill 3s have +2 coin power. What are we doing? We're making... We'll do it with this, where we're going through a bunch of E.G.O gifts and adjusting it. No. This is limited only to R-Corp factions. Right? Gain or oh, you know what? You're right, because I have to include R-Corp and Rabbit, and I have to include Rhino in this. So plus coin steel power to skill 3s that gain or consume charge. You know what? I have to reword this, chat. You know what? I can do this. I know what to do. R-Corp faction. R-Corp base attack. R-Corp base skill 3s. Base attack skill 3s. Gain +2, gain coin power. Plus coin power +2. Plus coin power. So R Corp base attacks skill 3s gain plus coin power 2. Boom. Flat. This is just the R Corp glaze. This is the R Corp glaze. Everything needs to glaze R Corp. So all R Corp skill 3s, no matter what, gain +3. Is it possible to allow them to convert into S3s? Maybe. We might even let them do that. Reindeer, coin power and no longer indiscriminate. Rabbit, gain coin power and haste. Rhino, gain aggro. Yeah, you know what? I like that. Let's, you know what we can do? Okay. Let's make a generalized buff for all of them. So, like, for instance, there's like blah, 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 blah. This is like a paragraph, right? And it affects all of them. Then each faction gets its own bonus. So, R Corp gain the base attack skills, right? So that's like the #1 thing. So all of them gain coin power 2 for free. Now, that's not really enough yet to generalize buff them. So we also need to give them some damage too. Right? So how about this? How about we also add Rabbit can reload. Yeah, we will add a Rabbit instant reload into that. Add another for minus coins. Are there any R Corps with minus coins? Not sure. But anyway, so R Corp base attack skill 3s gain coin power +2. Oh, you know what? You're right. You know what? Then how about this? Fuck it. R Corp base attack skills gain plus coin power 2. Fuck it. This is the R Corp glaze. They all get coin power 2. Every skill. Fuck it. This is fuck it. It's whatever, bro. I don't care. Second, deal. Now this is the hard part because they don't all consume charge. Only. Are there any rings with minus coins? Not yet. The other ones might be doing it. Future-proof it. Oh, we'll future-proof it after we actually create the E.G.O gift. It's like proofreading without finishing the paragraph, right? Yeah. Let's give them all charge. Let's give them all charge count as well. Let's just say all allies. R Corp allies. Identities. I like the someone said max 40 charge, and I kind of like that. So, R Corp faction identities. How do I write this down? Gain 40 charge count. I like the idea of them having like 40. How much do they have in LOR? Is it 30 or 40 in LOR? I like the idea of them having a max cap of 40 charge. All allies. Action allies gain a max. Gain a charge. I don't know how I write this. How do I write this? All R Corp faction identities gain the gain or just have a set limit. I'm not sure about 20. Oh, that's too small in this. We'll make it 40 or something. Normally wrote as Den. All action affinities gain. The reindeer get headaches. They're reduced. Yes. Hold on. Let me look at the gift real quick. Yeah. Let me look at the glove E.G.O gift real quick and see how they write that. They say all allies gain charge count. Okay, it just says max charge count 10. Okay, I'll fucking write that in there too. We'll say max charge count plus 10 as well. So it becomes 40 if you add the gloves. Max charge count comes plus 10. What's the E.G.O gift you're missing? We have these 3 E.G.O gifts. So we have Tangle Bundle, Painkillers, and Ingenerate. The stack with gloves? Yes. So if you stack with gloves, it's 40. Which I feel like is fair. Pretty much you get 40 charge count if you have gloves, which I think is good. So, our core base skills. So why not a number 1 type buff? Okay, we'll do that after we add... Oh, in my compendium? Oh, it's the blessed version of the T-Corp hidden gift. Because I got it when it was bugged. So, our core base skills gain +2 coin power. They have a max charge count of 10. Let's also make them deal more damage. So, let's have them deal damage based on speed. Just double max charge count? Double max charge count. Well, I mean, does that really matter? Because that would make it. That would give them 60. I don't want to give them 60. I think 40 is fair. Now we have to deal damage because they need to deal additional damage. So deal damage. How do we write dealing damage? Let's have a look, shall we? Let's go to this fusion and see how they write dealing damage. The Lee fusion, I guess. Lee fusion's pretty good with this. It is right here. So they have here deal 5% damage for every same faction consumed. Give them 2 million. They also should gain potency. Yes, we'll make them gain potency more. Maybe we give them damage from potency. Like what? %10 damage for every charge. I want them to deal damage with potency. I want them to deal damage when consuming charge as well. Deal 10% damage for every charge. By the way, there's no cap on that. Should we add a cap on it? I'm not even going to add a cap to it. 10 charge count gives you a 10 charge potency gives you 100%. 20 charge potency gives you 200%. We're not going to put a cap on it. Just 10% damage for every charge. I mean, in a real fight, like when you're doing a normal thing, you don't get more than like 15, 20 anyway. So we'll just do that. We'll just let it be uncapped. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do remove indiscriminate. We're going to do a bunch of general buffs, and then we're going to give each one their own pack. So we're going to do like reindeer, they're going to get their own buffs. Rabbit, they're going to get their own buffs. But for now, we're going to be focusing on this. So, max charge count 10. Deal more damage for doing 10. Let's also deal more damage. Let's say deal 5% damage for every excess charge count consumed. You can get 50 to combine with gloves. Beautiful. This one's just added bonus on there. So for every excess charge count you consume, which affects technically only the reindeer, I think. So maybe we have to reword that. The clash power buff? You know what? Well, we already have coin power. I feel like the 10% damage is already pretty good. I'm just trying to think how to word this. You know what I can do? Deal 5% damage for every charge count. This will be max like 30. Gain offense level for every charge count consumed. What does Hung One need? So we have max charge count 10. Our core base attack skills getting plus coin power 2 for all the skills. They deal 10% for every potency. They deal 5% for every charge count they have. And they gain offense level for every charge count they've consumed. Max 15? Fuck it, make it max 15. What does Ardcorp need? Crack. 5% damage for every charge count consumed. I don't know, something about this one's wording me. I feel like, oh, you know what? You're right. We need to add some Ardcorp limitations, chat. You know what? What if we did this? Hold on. I have an idea. We need some Ardcorp limitations. So what if we did instead of 5% for every how about this? Deal 10% damage for every Ardcorp unit. On field. Or we make that 30. Make it 15. How many Ardcorps are there? 5, right? So it's 50%. Lord, you got this. I believe in you. So we have... Okay, I should probably move this, by the way. This should probably be, like, up here. Deal 10% damage for every Ardcorp unit on field. Ardcorp base attack skills gain +1 power. And offers for every charge count consumed. This one I don't really... In offense level up next turn, maybe. For every charge count consumed. Max 70? I mean, yeah, we can do that, I guess. I guess to you know, future-proof it. Yeah, that's the thing. We have to account for Arcliff. That's why I don't want to do charge count consumed. But he technically, for every charge, he does it with his passive. No, he doesn't consume with his passive, does he? Hold on, let's check. Pretty sure he doesn't consume with his passive. His passive just sits there, I think. He gains yeah, he just at charge count, he just gains buffs. He doesn't consume or anything. He gains it on his skill 3. He doesn't consume anything. So you know what then? I know how to solve this. Let's say gain up and stuff for every charge count. There. How you do it. So, we have max charge count 10. Deal 10% damage for every Ardcorp unit on field. I say max 70. We have Ardcorp base attack skills gain 1 power 2. You deal 10% damage for every charge. You gain offense level up next turn for every charge count on yourself. So 15 is the max. So you get 15 offense up. This is supposed to be Giga Glaze specifically for the Ardcorp. Now, this is the general buffs, chat, but we're not even over yet. We still have to do the other buffs. So this is like the general buffs, but we still have other buffs to do. Like for instance, we have to do the painkiller buff and the tangled buff. Now, arguably, you could say we've done the tangled buff already, but we'll do that specifically for Ardcorp. The painkiller buff we can also do.
Do something about indiscriminate attacks, like giving shield to Ardcorp units before hit by ally indiscriminate attacks.
Yo, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Do something about indiscriminate? Yeah, we're gonna definitely do that. So we're going to add that as a what I'm gonna do, chat. Here's my plan. We have the general buffs, the E.G.O, right? So the E.G.O gives general buffs, and then we're gonna add sections that are specifically like, for instance, I'll be like, I'll say like rabbit identities, reindeer identities, rhino identities, like that. And then we're going to give each section of them, like that's going to be their own individual buffs, right? So we're going to add indiscriminate into the reindeer section, but I want to fill out more of the general buffs that they all get. So I think we add the staggered thing. So I think what? When staggered allies. Turn start. Staggered allies. I think we just buff painkillers even more. So we'll say staggered allies heal by, instead, 20% of max HP and gain 5 protection for this time. So this is just a buff painkillers, straight up a buff painkillers by like 100%. Because the painkillers gives 3 protection, so it's gonna make it 5. This is like super cracked. Then we'll do a tangled bundle effect, like a general bundle effect, like when allies with the fastest speed deal damage. Yeah, well, this is supposed to be a super buff to specifically our corp, right? Remember, we could always change the values after. Right? We can always change the values after. For now, we're just thinking of like what the fuck do we actually do, right? What do they do? When allies with the fastest speed deal damage to an enemy with a skill. I'm just gonna say with a skill that consumes ammo or charge. Deal 20% damage. I believe 20% is the max bonus of it. Let me look on the... Here, real quick. Most of these buffs are given out. Yeah, these are all general buffs. These are all given to everyone. Where the hell? Oh, fuck. 20%. So this is normally 3 allies with the fastest speed. I have now changed it to when allies with the fastest speed deal damage to an enemy with a skill that consumes ammo or charge. Count. I guess I gotta mention that. Deal 20% damage. Now, this affects E.G.Os. This is only R-Corp base attacks. I think I'm going to do this. Base attack skills. The base attack skills deal 10% damage for every charge. Gain offensive levels, fine. So, this is R-Corp specific. This is R-Corp specific. This is our base attack skills. This is not base attack skills. Just means we Corp. Well, the difference is that there's a bit. Well, the difference is that R-Corp have rupture. W-Corp have rupture. You know, we only have one rabbit, okay? Besides, chat, Rhino are the R-Corp are literally a stronger association than W-Corp. It makes sense. Dude, these guys are cracked. They are the superior charge units. Anyway. I think this is probably it for the general buffs, at least for now. We can add more general buffs later. So we have max charge count 10, deal damage for every R-Corp on field, deal gain coin power, base attack skills deal more damage, gain offensive for every charge count on self. Staggered allies heal 20% of max HP and gain protection. Allies with the fastest speed deal 20% damage on top of that, if they consume ammo or charge count. Then we have rabbit identity. So, now we're going to do a rabbit identity buff. So now, chat, we're going to go through. Let's go for like the clone page. That could be cool. I like that. Let's go through the individual buffs and see if we give them anything else. So, R-Corp identities. Yeah, we do need an increased base power too. There's a lot of buffs. Dude, tier 4s are so hard to make, dude. They require so much effects, chat. So, I think we give all of them a unique effect. Yeah, I think they're like R-Corp units gain plus 10 ammo. What is Mio's how does Mio's prowess work? Isn't Mio's prowess just a speed buff? Let me double check. Mio's prowess. Every ammo spent. True, that's good. I mean, let's go to passive real quick. If fast, deal more damage. Does damage more speed difference? If... Alright, so what should we do then? Deal 5% damage for every speed difference. I'm not sure how we write this out. Give more damage than speed you are. Yeah. How should we write this out? Yeah, we want to write speed difference between... Should I look at one of the IDs? We have gain rabbit identities, all right? We have gain ammo. So they gain a fuck ton of ammo. Then we want to say deal 5% damage for every speed for... I'm not sure if it's 5% or if it's... Oh, we should also probably give them power as well. It's Tango Marinade. Yeah, so it's every speed greater than the target. Butler Book has a similar mechanic. Yeah, let me look at Butler Book real quick. Butler Book is a tier 3. It's right... Oh, I'm blind. Where the hell's the Butler Book? Here it is. Ah, I missed it. If the unit's speed is faster than the target's, your SP equal to the speed difference. Okay, and gain offense up equal to half the speed difference. Okay, here we go. So, we can write the... Oh, min-max speed. Ooh, that's a good one. We'll do +3 min-max speed. I think that's fair. Look at the sync IDs. Yeah, pretty much. So, again, 10 ammo. Min-max speed. We're going to say, if this unit's speed is faster than the target, if this unit's speed is faster than the targets, we're going to say, deal more damage. Deal... If this unit's speed is faster than the target, we gain haste. Gain haste equal to... No, because that's too much. That's so much speed. That's why I'm not going to do that. Like, deal 5% damage equal to the speed difference. Equal to the speed difference. 5 is probably too small. We'll do like 10. Max 5 or something. So they get extra 50% damage for just being faster. They have min-max speed. Everyone has mom. Min-max speed, ammo. If this unit speed is faster than the target, deal 10% damage equal to the speed difference, max 5. So that's 50% extra damage. Let's give them... What else is there? Maybe some clash power or coin power or final power or something. All right, max 50%. Then we'll say gain or... You know what? Gain final power. Gain final power. You know what? No. I have an idea. Gain haste divided by free final power. Max 5. So there you go. If you get a fuck ton of haste, you get 5 final power as well on a rabbit. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Because the last attack on the rabbit is them using the knife. You mean speed? No, this is haste specifically. Because the R-Corp units give them haste. That's why I have that here. So they have haste. I probably should make it so that they also get haste. The R-Corp speed is faster than target to super damage. Gains... I mean, we could do speed divided by 5 final power. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I was thinking haste because they want to use the haste buff, but we could always do speed. Should we give them min and max speed then? I don't know. I feel like I wanted to do haste because haste is like a buff. Oh right, we also should do we should also. That's also a good thing. Difference. Hold on, I can just copy this word for word. I can just and right, hold on, and inflict half. Ooh, shit. And inflict more, and then inflict double, not double. If this unit's speed is faster than the target's, deal 10% damage equal to the speed difference and inflict +1 bleed potency and count. I'll just say bleed and rupture. Feel like this is good. To bleed and rupture count. I'm just thinking how to write this out. If this unit's speed is faster than the target's, deal 10% damage equal to speed difference and inflict 2 bleed and rupture count. Speed difference. Yeah. No, you know what? Inflict bleed and rupture count equal to half the speed difference. So this is max 50. And this is 3. So we have, if this unit's speed is faster than the target's, deal 10% damage equal to the speed difference, max 50. And inflict bleed and rupture count equal to half the speed difference, max 3. So you're always inflicting more bleed and rupture. You'll be inflicting 3 bleed and rupture count, pretty much. I guess. We'll leave it like that for now. And then gain haste, final power, max 5. We should also probably give them an actual haste thing. Always welcome. Of course, everyone's always welcome. Even if you come from Roblox. Unfortunately. But that's okay. Alright. Let's finish up with this, shall we? Next. We'll gain haste, final speed, gain haste. You know what? I kind of... Should we give them a reload or more ammo? You know what? I'm actually not going to give them ammo. I'm actually going to say this. When reaching 0 ammo, reload, lose 15 sanity. And reload. Gain ammo. Haste equal to... Gain... Ammo gain divided by 3 haste. When reaching 0 ammo, lose 15 sanity and reload. Gain ammo gained divided by 3 haste. Isn't that E.G.O gear or something? Fuck it. What if we just say when reaching... You know what? When reaching 0 ammo, consume 10 charge count and reload. Because they're rabbits, right? So they just consume charge count. Cooking. So when reaching 0 ammo, consume 10 charge count and reload. Gain ammo, gain divided by 3 haste. 20 charge? I mean, they do get a lot of charge. I don't think 20 charge is too much, I think. Because the idea is you want to be reloading a lot. Then gain ammo, gain divided by 3 haste next turn. What about potency? Well, rabbits don't typically care about potency. We're kind of trying to give it depending on the... We're trying to give it depending on, like, the specifications. So this is rabbit identities. Rabbit identities don't, as far as we're aware, don't care about that. Let's change the order of this a little bit. And also, let me give it, like, a mind. Like, I'll do a little bit of this. Increase max ammo. I did have that, but I think it makes more sense that they reload. Because the whole thing about rabbits is that they reload. It's like a DB Legends kit. Oh, it's not even... This is not even like... Look, okay, you guys might think this is big, but if we come over here, chat, and we go over to charge real quick, let me show you fucking massive. Look at this. Okay, well, this is not that big as I thought it was. But this is still pretty fucking huge. That I will admit, this is looking a little chunky, but this is like a first draft, so it's fine. I'm going to leave that on rabbits for now. Let's go on to reindeer. I think reindeer... Thank God I don't play Wolf. Remember, this is supposed to glaze ArcCorp. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're really glazing ArcCorp. Reindeer identities. Now, someone said, lose indiscriminate base attack skills. Lose indiscriminate tag. I feel like that's the thing. So immediately you just lose the indiscriminate tag. So base attack skills, lose the indiscriminate tag, boom. No more indiscriminate. Then we're going to say deal... I don't know, how much for this? 5% for every charge potency? SP regen? How much do they lose SP? I mean, reindeer don't lose that much SP, do they? I think damage based on SP makes more sense. So maybe it's like deal more damage based on SP or something. Let me look at, you know what? Let's give them a mini dog. Where's the dog? Dog would be a good example here. Deal value of SP damage. You know what? Let's do that. Deal value of SP % damage. So now, if they have 45 SP, they deal 45% more damage. Lion Whip, Coin Power 2, just to compensate for Hong Lu. Well, I did write, I did up here, I made it so that the ArcCorp base attack skills all gained the +2 coin power. But we could give them base power. I mean, there's nothing wrong with giving them base power. What else? They do more sinking. Deal, inflict more sinking potency and count for every charge Max. Rate 3, I guess. So if they have charge, they inflict more sinking. And potency and count. No max? I feel like you have to add a max. You kind of have to add a max when it comes to count and stuff. You have to add a max. For every 3 charge. Oh, yeah. You know what? I can do that for every 3 charge, max 3. So it takes 9 potency to reach 3/3, which I think is good. Next, we need. Let's see, what else do we give them? Deluge? Maybe 2. What if we gave him attack weight on Mind Whip? You know what? R Corp Reindeer. R Corp Reindeer identities. Identities. Mind Whip. Gain attack weight based on charge. E.G.O can't give attack weight. Well, you know what? Maybe it does now. No give is ever given attack weight. I mean, fair enough. Alright then, I guess we'll take it away. Make you get a tier 5. I mean, are you seeing how much I'm writing in here? At this point, it's just kind of, remove volley? I feel like volley is good. You guys don't like the volley? I mean, we can just say bat attack skills lose indiscriminate tag and volley tag. How is it written? You don't have it. Unfocused volley. Indiscriminate and unfocused volley. Focused. Unfocused. So base attack skills lose the indiscriminate and unfocused volley tag. Reindeer identities. I don't want to say reindeer identities. I'll just say gain maybe attack power up or something. Gloom power up. Moving it would break the identity. Yeah, kind of. I'll just stick with the tag. I'll just go stick with what I want. My initial thing was just the indiscriminate tag. Yeah, we'll do blunt power up. We can do gain blunt power up. Gain blunt power up for every charge count consumed. Power up next turn. Every charge count consumed. For the same max 5 or something. So, reindeers have base attack skills lose indiscriminate, deal value of it, so they deal 45% more damage. They have sinking, potency and count for every 3 charge. They deal more sinking. They have final power. They have 5 final power. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we'll leave it at these 4. We'll do 4 for now. 4, 4, 4. I think that's pretty fair. Now we're going to do Rhino. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Rhino is going to be the hardest one, but I think the easiest thing we can do is this. I think he will do this. This is skills. Base attack skills. that consume charge count gain unbreakable points. Inflict. Then we'll say deal 10% more damage for every aggro, maybe? No, I want to say aggro. I'll just say for every charge count consumed. Give them aggro? Yeah, we'll give them aggro. Only give them on the last coin? Maybe. Aggro final power? Ooh, that's a good one. We can do that. Gain aggro. Go to final power. Turn start protection aggro. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Turn start. I think combat start. No, turn start. You're right. Turn start. +3 protection. And +5 aggro. So every time they start, they get 3 prot and 5 aggro. They also gain aggro divided by 2 final power. They deal 10% damage for every charge count consumed. This is uncapped. Then we have base attack skills that gain charge count, gain unbreakable coins. Oh, I should say turn into unbreakable coins. Protection is too OP. Bro, I mean, I don't think it is. I mean, have you seen this E.G.O gift? I feel like if they can gain 50% damage, I feel like they can get 3 prot. Keep charge barrier as W Corpse. Yeah, let's not include on W Corpse thing. I feel like this is it. I feel like I don't even add anything else. Who kind of defeat the purpose of adding painkillers? Well, painkillers is when you get staggered. Right? Which, who's going to get staggered the most? Oh, you mean like, yeah, if we had barrier. Yeah, no. The idea is that rhinos are going to be eating the fucking shit. Anyway, I think that's it. I think we leave it at that for now because, yeah, this is quite... Yeah, we've kind of gone off the rails a little bit. Is any of this balanced? I'm not gonna lie to you. I have no fucking clue. But you know what? It's R-Corp Glaze. So, W worth? Hell nah. Yeah, nah. Hell nah. This ain't fucking... This is all cracked. I mean, I actually don't think it's that bad. I think with a few value changes, this actually wouldn't be that busted. I think there's a few things, like, I think this is way too strong up here. All of this is way too strong. But that was kind of the whole point, because it's specifically a faction identity. I'd probably add more faction-based stuff. Like maybe offense up for every charge count consumed changes. Like maybe you get rid of that. But you know what? I'm leaving it in. Not only that, but I think we're done for today. I think that's it for now, guys. All right, let's go over everything we've done so far. Maybe we'll come back to this at another point, because as you can see, we have a lot on the board here. You think we'll ever get 8 slots? That would be really cool. I don't think we'll ever get something that counts as something else. So, no MD? No, we've been doing this for like 3.5 hours. So, before we go, because also there's a video after stream, I'll let you know about that. Do you even make the reindeer gift? What, you mean this? We didn't. We abandoned the reindeer gift. I decided that it's not worth doing the reindeer gift because it breaks the, as Kim Ji-hoon says, original intent, and I cannot create something out of nothing and variety. So I scrapped the tier 3 and instead made it just a tier 4 fusion, and this is all part of the tier 4 fusion. And you have to have 3 or more. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I might take this out, chat. I might make this 5. With how strong this is, chat, I think you have to add 5 or more corp units. If you want to use this cracked ass shit, you gotta have R-Corp. This is only for the glaziest of R-Corp. You gotta have every R. You have to use all R-Corp identities for this one. To make a whole ass faction gift. Yeah, let me go through everything we've done, chat. Let me go through everything we've done. So, what did we do? We nerfed sharp needle and thread by 25%. Well, by half. So, we reduced sharp needle and thread from half to 25%. We buffed twinkling scrap. When an ally with a shield is hit by an enemy, reflects 20% of the final coin damage. Max 50 per enemy skill. This does not get added to the tier 4, by the way. So this does not get added to the violin. This is completely separate to the violin. We created a new tier 4 fusion. Probably the most balanced tier 4 fusion that we have here, which is funny. Between the Ancient Effigy and the Tango Marinade. And we called it the Marinade Offering. And it's a little bongy. It's the Ancient Effigy, but the bongy has possessed the Ancient Effigy. And there's an offering. It's leaking marinade. So, what does this do? Ahem. Combat start. All allies gain 3 leaking marinade. If this unit's speed is faster than the target's, gain leaking marinade divided by 3. Golden recipe source. Leaking marinade can no longer expire at turn end. So what we've done is, as I've written here, after 4 turns, you gain a maximum of 5 haste for your whole team. And after 3 turns, you gain a maximum of 6 clash power for your whole team. Which is a straight upgrade to both of these, pretty much. But the difference is, instead of activating turn 1, it takes multiple turns to activate. And that's what we created. So we created the Marinade Offering. Then, we nerfed/adjusted the Nebulizer E.G.O gift. We have removed the 2 upgrade levels from the Nebulizer. We made it start of encounter/wave. We reduced the amount of poise potency you initially get, but we completely removed the absolute resin. So it's better base for teams, but you need other poise stuff now, and you can activate the poise potency easier. So it is a nerf/adjustment to both poise teams and non-poise teams. Then we buffed Compression Bandage. We got rid of the upgrades. We got rid of the effect deployed and made it so when hitting an enemy with a blunt coin, deal 7 bonus blunt damage, and blunt attack skills heal 5% extra HP. Then we spent fucking 2 hours making this R-Corp fusion, which requires the Imitative Generator, the Painkillers, and the Tangled Bundle. Using all this together gets you a team that activates when there are 5 or more R-Corp identities. You have max charge count 10, deal 10% for every R-Corp on the field. R-Corp base attack skills gain coin power. Base attack skills deal more damage for every potency. Gain offense level up. Turn start. Staggered allies heal 20% of max HP. Gain protection. Allies with faster speed deal more damage when they consume ammo or charge. Rabbit identities gain 3 min-max speed. When reaching arrow, they consume Chen charge and reload. They also gain haste. If their speed is faster, they deal more damage based off the speed difference and inflict more bleed and rupture count, equal to half speed. They also gain final power equal to their haste. Reindeer identities lose the indiscriminate tag. They deal the value of their SP more damage. They inflict more sinking potency and count for every charge potency they have. And they also gain blunt power for every charge count they have consumed on that turn. Rhino identities gain protection and aggro every turn. They base attack skills gain unbreakable coins if they consume charge. They deal 10% flat damage for every charge count consumed, uncapped. And they gain aggro divided by 2 final power. And with that, I'm done. Oh boy. Whew. What a run, guys. What a Kanto, huh, guys? Alright. And that's gonna be it, guys. That's it for the stream. Thank you guys so much for joining. That was a little bit different than usual. I will be uploading the video after the stream ends. But there will be a video uploaded. But thank you guys. Tomorrow, guys, we will be here because tomorrow is the new hidden bosses and level 60 adversity. And we are going to complete a level 60 adversity run. So, see you all tomorrow. All right, take care, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.